Baseball Network, WPIX Sports presents its 40th season of New York Yankee baseball.
Thank you very much, Mel Allen. Live from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, WPIX Sports presents New York Yankee baseball. Tonight, the Yankees host the Kansas City Royals. Hi, hello, and welcome to Yankee Stadium, everybody, along with Tom Seaver and the Scooter Phil Rizzuto. I'm George Grant. As the Yankees are set to play Game 2 of this three-game series against the Royals, and Scooter, pitching and defense, the two keys to a 3-2 victory over Kansas City yesterday.
And, of course, Espinosa. We've all been touting him as, I think, the most valuable on the game, and on the play, which was brilliant. The only high chopper tagged the run and throw to first. Espinosa did it without blinking an eye.
He's been doing it for the last couple of years, and you add another part to the puzzle last night, too, and that was Jeff Robinson making an exceptional start, his first start as a Yankee, and then to the bullpen, and Dave Righetti. Tom Seaver standing by with Dave Righetti.
Thank you, George. And Dave Righetti, you got the club back on a winning track last night, the first victory since the All-Star break, and it's good to get back in the win column.
Well, it certainly is. The clubhouse is a lot better place to be in when you're winning ball games. It's nice. It was a nice win. It was a good win for the old bullpen, and Robinson looked great out there, and the defense was super.
Talked to Billy Connors, and he said you threw the ball extremely well last night.
I did. I keep telling him, if you pitch me more than one day in a row, that you do actually get a little bit better, and you just like to get out there and compete. And I've been sitting there for so long and watching us go through some tough times. You're just anxious to get in a ball game, and I'm just glad I was able to throw strikes, get ahead of people.
Ideally, how many times a week would you like to pitch? I mean, you can't just be waiting for games in which you have a chance to win as far as getting a save. Yeah. A short reliever also needs his work out of the bullpen, too.
Yes, I think 3 days is minimum should be pitching a week, and you'll find you'll be sharp. You'll know when to sit down and when not to pitch, what day you can't throw or what have you. But 3 days to keep you sharp, and if you're going to compete, I believe that the short man, not necessarily a closer, should be pitching in the 7th on to the 9th, it's a tie ball game or what have you, and especially when you're at home and there's not going to be a safe situation after the 9th inning anyhow, and better than mopping up.
The last year of your contract, you're a free agent at the end of this season. Dave, any word as far as your contract status goes?
Well, not right now. I think right now Mr. Steinbrenner is obviously busy with some other things, and we're going through some tough times. It's really not the time to talk about it anyway, and I've told all the local writers and what have you that, there'll come a time when I'll say something, but other than that, I really don't care to talk about it, but the obvious thing is to trade a guy like me to get some people for me, unless I, just be that way there, I don't leave on them. So obviously the club, I think, would like to get some people here that they talked about, but I'd like to be one of those people that they'd like to keep here and keep building around, but it's up to them up there, and I'll play it by ear.
Dave, thank you very much for coming by visiting with us.
Okay, Tommy.
All right, Dave Righetti, and we'll be back with the lineups, game number 2 here against the Kansas City Royals in just a minute.
For 28 years, John Lawyer has been to every Yankee home game and hasn't seen one yet. John parks the cars across from the stadium. But John can tell you who's ripping the seams off the ball and who can't buy a hit. From where John sits, he can't smell the grass or watch a Swede play. But thanks to the Daily News, John hasn't missed a game in 28 years. The Daily News, New York's hometown paper.
How do you get real premium beer taste in a non-alcoholic brew? You start with a real premium beer. That's how Anheuser-Busch makes O'Doul's. O'Doul's is carefully brewed, fully fermented, and cold-aged. Then the alcohol is naturally removed, retaining all the great taste. So how do you get real premium beer taste in a non-alcoholic brew? Ask for an ice-cold O'Doul's. O'Doul's, the taste will win you over.
Got the summertime blues? Toyota's got the cure for the summertime blues. Toyota's summer sales event has the summer's biggest savings, even on Toyota's hot new Celica, where power, technology, and European styling meet at a surprisingly low price. Hurry in for money-saving summer deals and special dealer discounts. Your Toyota dealer has the cure for the summertime blues. Toyota's got the cure for the summertime blues. Toyota's summer sales event. Don't miss it.
Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Citibank, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive. your Toyota dealers and their quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by the New York Yankees. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Yankee Stadium as the Yankees set to embark on Game 2 of the 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals with Andy Hawkins on the mound for the Yankees tonight. Let's take a look at the lineup that the Kansas City Royals will throw at Hawkins and the Yankees. The third baseman, Kevin Seitzer, will lead off, followed by Kurt Stillwell, the shortstop. George Brett over at first base will be batting in the number 3 position. Bo Jackson, the center fielder, hitting fourth. Gerald Perry, the designated hitter. Jimmy Eisenreich is in left field tonight, so that Pat Tabler will be over in right field. McFarland's the catcher, and Pacoda is the second baseman batting in the number 9 position. They'll be facing Andy Hawkins. Hawkins comes in with a record of 1-7 and an ERA at 5.77, but it has been coming down of late. Hawkins making his 16th start of the year, 17th appearance. He did come in relief once in Baltimore. And this is the 8th time he'll be starting here at Yankee Stadium. 95 hits in those 92 innings, and the numbers were even more lopsided prior to his recent stretch. Here's the defense. Sanders again in center field, Kelly in left, Barfield in right, Leyritz, Espinosa, Sachs, Mattingly, and Matt Noakes is behind the plate tonight with Andy Hawkins on the mound. And to bring us the play-by-play, here is the Scooter.
All right, George Grant, thank you. And I'll tell you, if this game is anything like last night's, it'll be a dandy. And I think the Yankees found out what it's like to win a ball game. And they were really a happy bunch.
You could feel it in the game last night and even in the locker room today that there was definitely the feeling of a close ball game, well pitched, a couple of key plays.
You're not kidding. The key plays were outstanding. All right, Andy Hawkins out on the mound. And he has really been very steady, probably the steadiest pitcher on the club. High fly, right field. Off field. Ooh, man. I thought he had turned the wrong way. He was a little off balance there, but still made the play. One man out.
Seitzer, the right-hand batter, he hits the ball towards the end of the bat, so it will be curving away. And with Barfield drifting back, the ball, as it continues to curve, drifts towards the foul line, and Jesse makes the catch, but he's got to do a little histrionics before he does.
The nonchalance of that made it look easy, but that was not as easy as it looked.
Wind's not a factor tonight, only about 2 to 3 miles an hour, and towards right what is there.
Strike one to Kurt Stillwell, the shortstop. Stillwell hitting .278, the switch hitter. One homer, 35 runs batted in. Seitzer was batting .297. 1 ball, 1 strike. So the warm weather has returned. But when you win, you don't care, right, George?
Would you like to play this kind of weather?
Yes, I did. I really did. Seaver, you know, he's a little flaky. He liked the cold weather. Both foul.
Well, I think, and it's true, especially of pitchers, that early in your career, you don't mind it when it's hot, but later in your career, it wears you down awful fast. And I think that certainly has a change in the way you look at the 90-plus days with the humidity up in the 90s, too.
You know, you're right. I never knew Seaver when he was a young man. I've only known since he's been an old-timer. I'll never forgive him. Time is called. Now look at this. The umpire's upset. Get your act together, he's saying. Swing and a foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now, we were trying to get, you know, the Yankees also to honor his 300th victory last weekend. We thought it would be a nice touch for the old-timers day.
If we win our next 22 in a row, I'll let you do it. Outside, 2-2. And a fly ball to center field. Sanders. He's cutting a pie, too, out there a little bit. That's it. These young men feeling their oats after a win, huh?
Now, Dion, up from Columbus, has been installed as the center fielder. Stump has indicated that he feels Sanders is a better center fielder than a left fielder, and he figures the best defense the Yankees can put up is with Roberto Kelly in left, because he can adapt to left better and give Sanders the chance to play his best position, which is center field.
Now, Roberto is not mad at the idea, not happy with it either.
He's not happy, Scooter.
No, he wants to be. He says, I'm a center fielder, and I feel comfortable at center field. He says, I will do it now because I'm disappointed in the way I've been playing in the outfield and at bat, so at least he's realistic.
We'll hear from Roberto a little bit later on the way he views the defensive alignment and the offensive alignment, because in addition to moving to left, they've flip-flopped in the batting order with Sanders leading off and Roberto hitting in the number 9 position.
Well, he got himself 2 doubles last night. I don't think he's unhappy about that. Here's Brett with the bandage on the right arm. He hit his 3rd home run of the year. Is that hard to believe last night?
This has been the kind of year that the Royals have had, and certainly right smack dab in the middle of the lineup, George Brett has been the one they've needed to produce.
Outside, 3-1.
Somewhat of the problems that Mattingly has had, too, because Tartabull went out the first couple of games of the season with the pulled muscle in his calf, and they had not had anybody to protect him in the lineup.
Absolutely true, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes now on Brett.
But just like Don Mattingly, George Brett's game never altered a bit. He played strong defense over at first base. He was hustling. He's stolen 5 or 6 bases this year.
As Mattingly, Don is really frustrated. You know, last night I was going to call up and say, leave the black under your eyes off, and he did. Didn't help him, but he did it again tonight. I know it's a night game, John Moore. Tonight's a night game, too. And he didn't put it, but he always wears it day or night. Ball 4. Or am I... Wait. What? Uh-oh.
Lost his pen.
You know, you see the football players do this because they got those strings that keep the shoulder pads up.
It's Tim McClellan, the second base umpire.
All right, here's Bo Jackson, and he hit a couple in the center field bleachers in batting practice. I mean, when he hits them, they start, it's like a lot like the way Babe Ruth used to hit them. They go up high, and then they start taking off. Ball 1. Jackson batting .263. He's got 12 doubles, a triple, 16 homers, and 50 runs batted in.
And he's been on a tear, especially up in Boston. 19 runs batted in his last 14 games.
Whoa! He likes that high fist. See him say, get the ball down a little bit. But when he sees it high, your eyes see it well, but it's tough to get the arms and the bat up there.
They call it up the ladder, and that's the way they try to pitch to Jackson. Let the ball keep going up in the strike zone, and he'll follow it. And there was a perfect example of a ball that was out of the strike zone.
Oh. All right, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Anytime he hits a ball like that, he's going to beat it out if it's a fair ball.
And the Yankees certainly are looking at a situation in center field with Deion Sanders, a football player, and John Wathan, the manager of the Royals, has indicated that it's not an easy road for a team or a manager or an individual when you're trying to play 2 sports, indicating, as Brett and Mattingly get a chance to chat, that it has not been an easy transition for Bo Jackson in Kansas City. He's got great ability, but this is a game that you have to play. Ability doesn't carry you.
No, you can get away with it more in football, strange as it seems. There's John Wathan. But that was a great shot of Brett and Mattingly talking over their problems. And that's a little bit high, 2-2. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Let's take a look at that. Might have been a little high, but that part of the plate.
Didn't miss by much?
Nope. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And he had to bring his arms in. He couldn't get too much power on that one if he did hit it there. Boy, I tell you, he has got arms and legs that are really muscular. They're coming right through the pants. Whoa! No, he didn't. Now watch that's carry, and look at this. What did I tell you? Dion thought he was going to catch that ball. It looked like a routine fly ball at center field. And when it got up to the top, the zenith, then it took off. I can't believe it. Man, he is strong. 17th home run, and the Royals lead 2-0. They come up with these weird handshakes. Look at this, those breaking bats.
When the Kansas City Royals were up in Boston this past weekend, they just hammered the baseball, and this was a perfect example of what they did. There's Jackson just turning on a ball that was a little higher and more over the plate than they wanted. And Sanders gives it a run, but that ball cleared that fence by about 10 feet. It looked like it was closer, but it was well over the fence. That's power, Scooter.
Oh, that is power. Here's Gerald Perry, a DH, 1 ball, 1 strike on him, 2 out. He's hitting .265, 6 homers, 40 runs batted in. Strike 2. I don't know which one I dislike the most, the high 5, the low 5, the bump and run that the Oakland A's have, or this new one. Looks like Chichi Rodriguez and Gary Player after they sink a putt. Bouncer, and you're going to have to hurry. Never get him. They got him. I'm allowed to change my mind. Nice play by Sachs, but the 2-run homer, and in the middle of the first inning, the Royals 2, the Yankees come in the back.
You can see the dream of success in the eyes of people all across America. At Citibank, we understand the dream. That's why, as Citicorp and Citibank, we've become America's largest financial services organization. Already helping 1 in every 4 American families with more home mortgages, more student loans, more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We'd like you to get to know us better. Citibank, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, so charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies, and when you know it, baby, milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, right baby smile, and great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby, milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
Friday? You're kidding. We're getting company from Russia.
Order me some Russian flags. 1,500. I'll make it 2,500. And we're bringing the Hamilton on this route.
Back at Yankee Stadium, let's take a look at the Yankee lineup that'll face Storm Davis tonight. Deion Sanders back in the leadoff slot. Steve Sachs batting second. John Manning at first will be batting in the number 3 position. Matt Noakes hitting cleanup. Jim Leyritz, the third baseman, 5th. Jesse Barfield in the number 6 position. Kevin Moss hitting 7th. Espinosa 8th, and Roberto Kelly in the number 9 position against Storm Davis. Davis was activated from the 15-day DL today, making his 12th start of the season. You know the story of him coming over as a free agent, one of the 3 big free agents that the club forked out money for in the offseason. And as you can tell by those numbers, the 2-6 record has not been reflected in that contract, and he's been frustrated.
Yeah, strike 1 to Sanders. Well, that's true. And they are very disappointed, but he's not the only one of that big money crowd that's not doing well. And foul back out of play, 0-2.
And the Royals are in a position right now where they can do two things. Either they can, now that they're out of the race in the Western Division, they either make some deals or believe that this is just a strange year and that they'll be better next year and stand pat. I think there is no doubt that they're going to have to unload at least one, maybe two of the big contracts. In Mark Davis's case, for instance, there's a bonus that'll come into effect at the end of the year.
That's a bouncer foul. Well, they got a good chance to make trades with clubs who will be in a chance to win the pennant or the division.
That man, John Wathan's going to be part of the decision process along with John Schuerholz, the general manager, who's here tonight.
They could save a ton of money if they get rid of a couple of them. In the air to left center and coming over Bo Jackson, one man out.
Take a look at that Kansas City defense as Deion Sanders flies out for the first out here in the bottom of the first inning. Jimmy Eisenreich is in left, Bo Jackson's in center, and Pat Tabler is in right. Seitzer Stillwell, that's your normal routine on the left side of the infield. Billy Picotta has become the second baseman, and George Brett at first, and Mike McFarland, who has been catching every day, or at least 80% of the time, since Bob Boone went on the disabled list with that fractured bone in his finger.
All right, Steve Sachs takes a strike.
Boone, by the way, is just about ready to come back, Scooter, and they'll have a decision to make when that point in time comes.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys on the... There's that base hit, bounces over the head, and he can't do anything with it. Man, a Baltimore chop at Yankee Stadium and a base hit for Sachs. With the weather, that infield is pretty hard around home plate, George.
You're right. During infield practice today, the Royals were going around testing some balls that bounce along the foul line. And here you can see it's a good pitch to Sachs, low and inside. And he doesn't really hit it well, but right in the perfect spot that Seitzer can't get it. Stillwell makes a play on it, but no way he can make a throw on it.
All right, Brett holding Sachs close. And the batter, Don Mattingly. Mattingly hitting .248. 12 doubles, 5 homers, and 34 runs batted in. Unbelievable.
You don't expect to see it, but Don Mattingly and Steve Balboni were two, along with Deion Sanders, that were taking extra bunting practice today before the game.
Oh, no kidding?
Sacrifice bunting we're talking about.
Who's the bunting coach?
Everybody was there. You should have been there.
I know. Oh, perfect double play. Well played by George Brett, but you can see Mattingly really having his problems. Nothing across at the end of a full inning. The Royals 2 and the Yankees nothing.
The New York State Lottery presents tonight's daily number and Win 4 drawing. The winning numbers will be selected automatically from left to right, just as they appear on your ticket. Tonight's drawing is conducted and supervised by the New York State Lottery under the observation of an independent auditor from Coopers & Lybrand.
Good evening, I'm Frances Padron, and now for today, Tuesday, July 17th, 1990, it's time for the winning daily number. And the first ball up is 8, and the next is 7, and the last is 8. That makes tonight's daily number 878. Now here's Sarah Preston with tonight's Win 4 number.
Thank you, Francis. And don't forget, tomorrow's Lotto jackpot is $3 million, including annuity interest. And now for tonight's Win 4 number. The first ball up is 1. The next number is 7, and the next is 9. And the last number is 8. That makes tonight's Win 4 number 1798. Congratulations to all you winners.
Got the summertime blues? Toyota's got the cure for the summertime blues. Toyota's summer sales event has the summer's biggest savings, like Toyota Camry, with savings up to $700 or more on factory options. Then add in immediate delivery, special financing, and very special summertime factory incentives. Right now, your Toyota dealer has the cure for the summertime blues. Toyota's got the cure for the summertime blues. Toyota's summer sales event. Don't miss it.
Back at Yankee Stadium, and Scooter, one of your buddies, Bart Simpson.
Boy, they've
Don't
taken
have
off.
a cow, man. Have a holy cow.
They
It's
have
one of your
taken-
favorite shows.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's really been very popular, and they can't figure out how and why. But the public is very strange. Eisenreich takes the strike. I think it's a good show, though, for kids anyway.
We're all kids, right?
Yeah, at heart, right. 294, 2 homers, 27 runs batted in. And 1 of 1. And by the way, we are going to Florida tonight.
Uh-huh.
And Scooter and Ann and Margaret Carolina, who paid me a surprise visit.
They made it home okay?
Yeah. Delayed an hour and a half.
That's normal.
Now, you don't like to brag about your grandchildren, but look at this. There's little Margaret. Oh, is she pretty? And that's on the left is Scooter with the beard. And on the right, I don't know who
Who's
he
that
is. But that baby, I'm telling you, people were coming up. She didn't cry once all the way up or once all the way coming back. Now, that's unusual.
Anthony did a great job taking a bunch of pictures from Sunday. They're beautiful.
They really are beautiful, but I took a lot of those pictures, you know.
You didn't take that one, though.
I certainly did.
You took that picture and you're in it?
Oh, no, wait a minute. You're right. I didn't take that. But I took some similar
I know
to
you
that.
do a lot of things.
Well, we got that tricky camera where you can click it and run in front. But anyway, it was a great time we had. That's what you need when you're down a little bit. Get that little baby in there. The whole outlook changes. And Sachs will be there. Has to hurry a little bit, but they get him. Those infielders know when they have to hurry, when they can take their time.
Eisenreich is a very valuable ball player. He can play all 3 outfield positions. He'll hit the ball to the left side of the infield or the right side, and he can run. He has stolen 10 bases this year, and as you can see, gets up the line well. And Sachs knew he had to get the ball, make his pivot, and throw rapidly to get Eisenreich.
So Sachs has made 2 fine plays tonight. Here's Pat Tabler. I wonder what they said to him when he was the culprit that made the double play possible last night so that the Yankees won the ball game.
That's the kind of year it's been for the Royals, though. And, you know,
Yeah.
if he stops in the baseline, Espinosa never
No
tags
double
him.
play. That's right. Or if he ran by him, which he had plenty of time, he was watching that rainbow hop coming down. He mesmerized by it.
He always gets a little grief here because he's a former Yankee,
That's
of course,
right.
through the minor league system. That always hit. Never knew where to play him.
That's right. A little low, 1-1. Yeah, we got Yankees floating around both leagues. Andy Hawkins. One out. And Leyritz up the throw in time. 2 men out.
You know, people, Scooter, are still talking to Andy Hawkins about the no-hitter that he threw in Chicago, and he's realized, we're talking to him a little bit before the game, that his life has changed, and it will never be the same because every place he goes, now he is no-hit pitcher Andy Hawkins, and also no-hit pitcher who lost.
Yeah.
And by the way, for posterity's sake, we saved your scorecard, you know.
You didn't.
From that day.
That I thought I gave it to John Moore.
It's going in the National Archives. There it is.
Well, if anybody can make heads or tails out of that.
Imagine if they put that in a capsule and somebody comes across it about 100 years or 200 years from now.
as I look at it. Oh, he sawed the bat right off in his hands. Espinosa. Looks like it's picking cherry time out there. 3 up, 3 down. And at the end of an inning and a half, it's the Royals 2, the Yankees nothing, and we now pause for station identification.
The unintelligent phone system.
Can I get customized features?
No, that's a problem.
How about extra lines for the holidays?
No, problem there.
Will I be able to add on more phones?
No, it's a problem.
More phone line would be...
The intelligent phone system.
Can I get customized features?
No problem.
How about extra lines for the holidays?
No problem there.
Will I be able to add on more phones?
No problem.
With Bell Atlantic, getting a customized phone system is no problem. Call us.
Wednesday and Friday night at 8 on Channel 11.
Got the summertime blues? Toyota's got the cure for the summertime blues. Toyota's summer sales event has the summer's biggest savings, like Toyota Corolla, with savings up to $900 or more on factory options. Then add in immediate delivery, special financing, and very special summertime factory incentives. Right now, your Toyota dealer has the cure for the summertime blues. Toyota's got the cure for the summertime blues. Toyota's summer sales event. Don't miss it. Nothing beats the USA. Nothing beats what we've got here. Nothing beats clean, crisp, cold. Nothing beats the king of beer. Yeah, nothing beats the Budweiser. Nothing beats the Budweiser. Nothing beats the Budweiser. Nothing beats the Budweiser.
Back at Yankee Stadium, we're set to go to the bottom of the second inning. Noakes, Leyritz, and Barfield due up for the Yankees. For the Royals, 2 runs on 1 hit. Bo Jackson's 2-run home run. And the Yankees, no runs on 1 hit. An infield hit by Steve Sachs, but he was erased on a 3-6-3 double play that Brett made on Mattingly. As Storm Davis is set to go to work against Matt Noakes.
All right, Noakes hitting 279. He has come on strong with the Yankees. Since he's been with the Yankees, he's hitting 291 and has 5 of his 8 homers as a Yankee. Strike one. He does have a beautiful swing here for Yankee Stadium, as does Kevin Moss. Had a great write-up in today's paper about Kevin Moss. I don't know whether that was Jerry Eisenberg or Lowe, 1-1.
There are 2 things about a Yankee Stadium swing for a left-hand hitter. Number 1, there are some that have it, and number 2 is learning how to use it. And that's one thing that Darrell Evans has been working with both Noakes and Moss to try to maximize that swing here. In other words, when you're in this ballpark, you swing differently than when you're on the road.
Just like the Red Sox when they're in Fenway, and when they get out on the road, they're an altogether different ball club. 2 balls and a strike on Noakes. Yanks trail 2-0 in the second. Oh, what a beautiful stroke. He didn't get it up in the air, but it's going to be by him. And he'll get a double out of that. He is not too fleet of foot, but I'll tell you. That's just the stroke George was talking about. You see him turn his hips and shoulders and the wrist turn over. Oh, man.
Pat Tabler is in right field because, as you know, Danny Tartabull has been in and out of the lineup all year long with the injury bug, and Tabler will swing the bat.
Oh, look at that.
And so does Noakes. Perfect swing, Scooter. Look at the weight back and the hands back, too.
Then he turns that left wrist over. He came close to getting that. And watch this throw he made. No, we're not going to see it, but he threw like, well, maybe we are. Look at this. And just by 1 step, Noakes does not run well at all.
He was an average runner before he had the knee injury.
Yeah, now he's a little less than average. All right, here's Jim Leyritz. Noakes at second, and Leyritz runs up to bunt, but takes it inside, ball 1. Jim batting .295. Got 4 doubles, 2 homers, 10 runs batted in. 2 balls, no strikes. Three balls, no strikes. I tell you, Storm Davis a little upset. A couple of those pitches looked like they might have had the corner, and he's just wondering. Had a great year with Oakland last year. Strike one, 3-1.
Davis said he was just starting to feel as if he was coming into his own when he got hit on the knuckle by a ball, and that put him on the disabled list. And he tried to pitch through it, was bothering him, so they put him on the DL. And you know, now when you look at the rotation that they projected at the start of the year, Gubiza, Saberhagen, and Davis. Davis comes off the disabled list today, and Saberhagen and Gubiza, of course, are on the disabled list.
And the other Davis might as well be on the disabled list the way he's pitched. All right, Jesse Barfield, who I thought was definitely robbed of a home run last night when a fan interfered with it, but the umpire didn't seem to be in the right position for it. And I thought that Tony and Duane did a good job on it, and then Al Troutwig went out there, and then I couldn't believe he said that they're not allowed to go out there and make interviews, being a roving interviewer.
No.
And they chased him back. They're not allowed. All right. But it was very unusual, and Barfield got clipped out of... it says right on the card. How do you like that? Grounded to third, and he'll only get the one. And I said, if for some reason Seitzer hesitated, I don't know whether he thought of tagging Noakes or what, but that slight hesitation cost him the double play.
Here's a look from the camera high atop behind home plate. He makes the scoop and then maybe takes a second clutch at the ball in his glove, but it's a tough play. It's not hit very hard anyways.
They made it closer than I thought it would be, unless Barfield did not get out of the box. All right, first and third now for the Yankees. And here's that man, Kevin Moss. Moss batting .303, a double, 4 homers, and a base hit right now. And holy cow, I tell you, that Moss, he's very confident. I love the write-up he had in the paper. Spoke to a couple of the men down there, that ushers and ground crew. He said, I'm going to be around for a long time, and they said they're going to be around for a long time, so you like to see that in a youngster.
Kevin Moss believes he can hit in the major leagues, and he's showing, at least in this first stage, that there is reason for him to think that way. You know, the first thing is you go around and they see if you can hit the fastball. Then if they find out you can, then they start throwing you the off-speed, the breaking balls, and he's about ready as we go the first time around to hit stage 2 pretty soon.
Yes. All right, here's Espinosa now. And a push bunt, it's a dandy. Oh, Barfield, where was he? Holy cow, is that the safety squeeze or the suicide squeeze? Barfield got no jump at all. And Espinosa's got to be wondering what happened. Somebody missed a sign there. Barfield played it as though it were the safety squeeze. The safety squeeze is you wait till a man bunts the ball and then you run. But on a suicide squeeze, you run as the pitcher is delivering the ball. He would have scored easily. But here, he's a dead duck. They got him by plenty. Oh, that's a shame.
I have to believe that off the indication of what they were doing today, that probably was the squeeze, period. And that somebody missed a sign, and it had to be Jesse. We won't know till after the game.
No, that's right. Espinosa can handle that bat. He did bunt it a little harder than he wanted to. But still, if it were a squeeze, you score easily on that. All right, here's Roberto, the 9th hitter, and he pops it up. And it is playable. Brett is under it and makes the catch. And that'll do it. But the Yankees do pick up a run. And the end of the second on the Midas scoreboard, the score, the Royals 2 and the Yankees 1.
Now, I'm minding my own business, and this guy on the phone is chewing my ear off about how I got to leave AT&T. Save big, we're better. So, now I'm wondering what's in the fine print. Like, where do these savings come from? If I got a problem with my bill, I'd speak to a machine, or can I maybe talk to somebody with a pulse? But they say switch and save. So I said to the guy, let's put it in writing. Guy says, excuse me?
Don't get pressured. Get the facts.
You know and I know. Still not AT&T.
Going home, with Citgo going home.
When the day is done, it's Citgo's job to get you where you're going, especially when you're going home.
Going home.
Hey fans, how about this special offer from Yankees Magazine? Every month you get player features, statistics, great color action photos, minor league reports, and a lot more. Subscribe now and receive 12 big issues and this handsome gold-plated Yankee ring, all for just $19.95. To order, send a check or money order to Yankees Magazine, Department R, Yankee Stadium, Bronx, New York, 10451, or call 1-800-543-3600.
Now watch Barfield, George. He doesn't get a jump at all. The ball is bunted. Now he's running. He's got no chance. Brett takes a long time, but he still gets him easily.
The other part of it, too, is that's a collision play at the plate. It's not a slide. It's not a play where you have to go after somebody. It's a collision play, and it certainly didn't develop that way. It looked as if there was a sign missed. Again, we won't know till after the game is over, but it sure appeared that way with Seitzer at third, in on the grass. Espinosa tried to get Brett to make the play over at first, and he did.
All right, Bill Pecota, the batter, second baseman, hitting .348 on the year. He's only been to bat 66 times, but he's got 23 hits, 6 of them doubles, and 7 runs batted in. 2-1, the Royals lead. And that's high and tight, 2-0. Andy Hawkins gave up the 2-run homer to Bo Jackson, but he settled down, got the next 3 in a row on ground outs. 1 to second, 1 to third, and 1 to short. Oh, did he get all of that? He did. That's gone. Holy cow. The wind is not a factor at all, but I'm telling you that it must be a night for the ball to travel. Second home run off Hawkins. Only the second hit off him, but the Royals now lead 3-1.
That's the first home run for Pecota this year, and his 8th RBI of the year. And this one, again, just too much of the plate. He wants to get it inside, but gets it too much over the plate, and Pecota plants it in that left field stands. Last year, he had 3 home runs. The year before with Kansas City, he had 1. The year before that, he had 3.
All right, Kevin Seitzer called strike on the first one. And now it's 1-1. So 3-1, the Royals are leading now, nobody out. Cleveland beat Oakland again today. That's low, 2-1.
I asked John Wathan before the game if he thought the White Sox would continue to make a race of it in the Western Division. He said, you know, a month ago I didn't think so. But now I believe they can. The way they're playing, and I think the way they believe in themselves. And he said, I remember us, meaning the Kansas City Royals in 1985 when he was a catcher on the club. We didn't have the best team in the division, but we won it. And things came together at the right time.
That's right. And now Oakland has lost a lot of ball games lately. They might be just sitting back figuring they got all that power and pitching. Outside 3-2.
This is a key month in the race in the West with the White Sox on the road now. Then they go home for only 6 games, and they're on the road for 11 more. So if Oakland is going to open up some ground, this is a time where they have potentially the good opportunity to do that.
And yet the White Sox had won, what, 11, 12 in a row on the road?
Uh-huh.
But can't continue. Oh, base hit No, look at Espinosa. Holy cow. And they got him. Whew. I mean, that ball was hit like a bullet. Maybe not a bullet, but
able to leap tall buildings with a single bound.
But I mean, he get all of this ball. I didn't think Espinosa could get there. He's so quick laterally, and look at that quick flip. I tell you, Seitzer can't believe it. Another outstanding play by Alvaro. Now Stillwell fly to center, ball one.
When the White Sox left town this weekend, they said they thought they had seen the two best shortstops in the league, meaning Ozzie Guillen, their shortstop, and Espinosa, the Yankee shortstop.
They were absolutely right. That's the two I'd pick. Strike 1-1. And I'd pick Espinosa over Guillen. Guillen's got a little more range than Alvaro, but I think Alvaro's more sure-handed. Arms are the same. Oh, what a play! Holy cow, Leyritz. I tell you, the Yankee defense has been sensational the last couple of games. You got to be ready, and you got to be quick for those short lateral moves.
Scooter, you know how much defense can mean. We talked about it in the pregame show, and here is another example on how a play backed up by another play can take an inning that could be a disaster for Andy Hawkins and bring it back to him.
Absolutely. Andy doesn't seem to be popping that ball tonight. He's sort of throwing with the stiff wrist again. He'll get that back down. Here's Brett, who walked and scored his first time up. That's a little high, ball one.
And the other thing that Billy Connors has worked with him so much on is getting that right hand up in the air, not down low, so that you're not pushing the ball. You're bringing the ball in, and if you watch that delivery again, the hand had dropped again.
Yep, that's right. That was outside, but he did get the arm up a little more. 2 balls, no strikes. Two men out, and the Royals lead by 2. It's 3-1. And that's high and outside. 3-0. I don't know whether he wants to try again with Jackson up next.
Another look at that motion, Scooter. And watch.
Yeah. There's a strike. 3-1. He brought the arm up a little bit better that time. Jackson, on the other hand, has struck out 100 times already this year. Strike 2, 3-2.
The last couple of years, as we hit the middle of the season, Bo Jackson was the runaway leader in strikeouts, and there's Bo in the on-deck circle. But because, this ball forward to Brent, because first of injuries in the second half of the season, and also the fact that he was heading towards football, those numbers dwindled in the second half. But he's a potential 170, 180 strikeout guy.
Yep. All right, now he can't keep throwing him that fastball, and he's got to change speeds and put a little wrinkle on it. Last time up, Jackson hit his 17th homer. Oh, no. Holy cow, you could see the same spot. Holy cow. 3/4 of the way up the bleachers. He just flicked his wrist. And I thought for sure he'd start him out with a breaking pitch. Driven in all 4 runs. I mean, when he hits him. Well, they got 5 runs, but he driven in 4. Pacoda hit the other home. Up. Well, that's a little better. I mean, that ball jumped off that bat.
Those that watch him every day say that he is the strongest man in baseball, and that's simply a batting practice pitch right there. Bat down the middle, and
look what that landed. Holy cow. 5-1. Well, I mean, that must be something to have that much awesome power. And you know how gentle he is with those gloves. 1-1 the count on Perry. Perry was robbed of a base hit on a fine play by Sachs.
On the athletic field, he is a man of strength, a man of power, a man of fury. But if you've ever seen him with his wife and children, you're in a situation where he is a completely different person away from the park with his family. Oh boy, he is strong.
Oh. Strike three. They got him. But the damage is done. 3 big runs that inning, and at the end of 2.5 now, the Royals 5 and the Yankees 1.
I buy a race car, a track, and start the Bronx 500.
I can't stand my furniture, and I wouldn't have to.
I'd still follow the Yankees, but in a Rolls Royce.
I'd throw my alarm clock out the window.
Twice a week, someone could win millions of dollars.
I tell every guy I ever loved, who's sorry now.
New York Lotto. All you need is $1 and a dream.
Today's competitive car market, there's one place that gives you the advantage. The advantage of Dodge Spirit. More interior room, a standard driver's airbag, and a lower price than Honda Accord. Now there's a great selection of Spirits, some as low as $213 a month. The advantage of Dodge Shadow, more horsepower, and a longer powertrain warranty than Honda Civic DX hatchback. There's hundreds in stock, some as low as $180 a month. For the cars that beat the Hondas, it's advantage Dodge.
Can the other guys say they've installed over 100 million quality mufflers? We can say that. That's why we can say this. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
It hits. It runs. It slides. It scores. Catch the fun.
The Yankees take on the Twins Thursday at 8 on Channel 11. Wednesday and Friday night at 8 on Channel 11.
Back at Yankee Stadium, and Bo Jackson has just hit his second home run of the night. And Scooter, you don't like the high fives, but how about this one?
I like that. I don't know what we're going to call it. We're going to have you people write in and give us a name for it, but that's better than... Look at Bo. What's he doing?
That's trainer Mickey Cobb. I guess maybe you call it the Cobb butt, corn cob.
Not bad.
Mickey, one of the legendary people in the Kansas City organization. Of course, he just made the Georgia Southern Sports Hall of Fame recently.
Oh, Dion cream front. And Jackson, look at him go backwards. Holy, I never saw a guy run that fast going backwards. That's Dion's best shot. Bo was playing shallow, and he still got back there.
Hey, Scooter, Bo ought to hire you as his agent. You know that?
No, from the day he first came in the big leagues, White and I used to argue. White, I don't like to say this because White's not here, but he said he could never play two sports. I said, that guy's too strong. He can do anything he wants. But, I mean, he gets all of this, George. Now watch him backwards. That's where the football comes in, right? Don't they practice that running backwards?
As a defensive back, Bo is,
he's not
I think, is a little spurred today, too, Scooter, because remember, there were some words back and forth between Dion and Bo, and they both say it's over and done with, but when Dion first came up, he indicated that he could play as well or maybe better than Bo Jackson.
Oh, no kidding? Oh, I didn't know that.
And Bo has been very quiet about it since then. But you know that in the back of his mind, there's a reason for him to put out 110 when he comes here. And there's Dion next to Mike Witt.
Yeah, Mike Witt. I haven't seen him in a long time. And another bouncer foul by Sachs. Sachs had an infield hit his first time up.
By the way, Scooter, talking about pitchers on the DL, Pascual Perez threw for about 10 minutes today in front of the Yankee dugout, threw about 90, 100 feet. Soft toss, and pitching coach Billy Connor said he looked good. He said he felt good, and we'll wait and see how he feels in a couple of days. Pascual keeps saying that he thinks he'll be back in early August.
All right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Base hit right field. Oh, There's another guy can pick that high fastball and hit line drives off it. Sachs had an idea, but stays there. 4 runs behind. That's one of the hardest things to do. Mattingly used to be able to do it.
He gives Sachs the opportunity to stretch those arms out, take a ball on the outside part of the plate, and he hits a bullet to right field.
Yankees get their 4th hit. And we love Don Mattingly. And well, you should. That's a bouncer base hit over the head, and Sachs will go to 3rd. So the Yankees taking advantage of the hot infield right now. Hey, that's right. The first pitch Mattingly swung at. He's got to change all his habits. Sleeping, eating.
Oh, you got 2 of the best hitters of the 80s sitting at first base talking to each other. Maybe they've been talking hitting tonight.
Maybe. All right, Mattingly at first and Sachs at 3rd. And the batter, Matt Noakes, who doubled to right field his first time up. 4-1. Tell you, Noakes got that short, powerful stroke. He doesn't pitch or bring it way back.
One of the problems he had in Detroit was that he was committing the hands and the body out in front.
1-1.
Darrell Evans has tried to get him to stay back and wait until that last minute to commit and get all the power that he can towards right field.
It looks like he's been doing a good job of it.
Is Darrell behind stump?
All right, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Yanks trail by 4, but they got a chance here now to put a couple of tallies up there. Inside 2-1. Tom Davis has always had a good breaking pitch. He did not want to swing at that one. A little higher than he would like. 2-2.
He was billed as the Jim Palmer of the 80s when he first came up with the Baltimore Orioles. Remember those days? And as a youngster, people thought he would fill the void left by Palmer, but that mantle was pretty hard to succeed under. Went to San Diego and never had much success there, and then at Oakland found himself.
3-2. And one of those young kids they just signed, one of those bonus boys, they say looks like another Jim Palmer.
Todd Van Poppel.
Todd Van Poppel.
Yeah,
and they brought up, well, with this club, Mel Stoudemire Jr. had loved to see him get in.
Yep.
He said this was like home to him. I remember when we used to run around here with short pants. And then there's another kid. Oh, bounces perfect double play ball. With the overshift on, they get the double play. Nothing across, and on the AT&T scoreboard at the end of 3, Royals 5 and the Yankees 1.
How do you get real premium beer taste in a non-alcoholic brew? You start with a real premium beer. That's how Anheuser-Busch makes O'Doul's. O'Doul's is carefully brewed, fully fermented, and cold-aged. Then the alcohol is naturally removed, retaining all the great taste. So how do you get real premium beer taste in a non-alcoholic brew? Ask for an ice-cold O'Doul's. O'Doul's, the taste will win you over.
Drive into summer in a new Ford Taurus from your Tri-State Quality Ford dealers. Now get $900 cash back or 7-9 financing, plus save $700 in option discounts. That means you can get a 6-cylinder Ford Taurus for less than a 4-cylinder Honda Accord. See for yourself, then drive into summer with your best deal on a new Taurus.
When you're hot, you're hot.
For the past few summers, Long Island has faced serious power supply shortages. This summer should be different. Lilco's installed these generators ahead of schedule and under budget, and our employees have kept our older plants operating more reliably than any in the state. We've also implemented the state's most comprehensive conservation program to curb the high demand for electricity. Still, on especially hot days, we may need your help. If you hear a power alert message, we hope you'll assist by cutting back on electric use. Thank you.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Let's take a quick look at the scoreboard in the American League. Oakland lost to Cleveland. The Indians win it 4-2. Greg Swindell, it looks like he is back. Beats Mike Moore 4-2 as the final. Doug Jones had his 26th save in that one. Texas won, Baltimore nothing. That game now in the bottom of the second inning. Brown against Harnish. Minnesota and Boston scoreless bottom of the second inning. Erickson against Bolton. Chicago and Detroit at Tiger Stadium. Top of the third, the Tigers lead it 3-0. Later on, Toronto, Seattle, Milwaukee, California. Andy Hawkins set to go to work against Eisenreich, Tabler, and McFarland. National League scores. New York and Houston will be starting just a couple of minutes. Foul back by Eisenreich. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This afternoon at Wrigley, Cubs beat the Padres 7-2. Bosky the winner, Bennis the loser, Eddie Williams a home run. Cincinnati leads Montreal 3-1. Top of the second, Dave Martinez homered in the first inning. San Francisco at Pittsburgh. They're now on the top of the fourth. The Giants lead it 1-0. Robinson against Smiley. The Braves came up with 3 in the bottom of the first, lead Philadelphia 3-0 in the top of the third. Ron Gant a home run in that one. Jim Presley. Gant may be the comeback player of the year in the National League. And Los Angeles and St. Louis will be a little bit later on as we welcome Tom Seaver to the booth.
Thank you, George. Andy Hawkins has put himself in a hole, hasn't he?
Home run ball has been trouble for him all year, and today is no different.
Throwing the ball from back to front was one of the problems that Andy gets into. He starts shoving the ball to home plate and doesn't get on top and drive it. And the ball stays very straight at the hitting zone. Not much movement on it. And I think he fell into this. He threw the ball pretty well the first couple of hitters that came up, and then he threw George Brett about 4 or 5 changeups, and he really dropped his elbow down when he was throwing them. And since then, every fastball has been on the same plane. And you can see when the ball gets to home plate, there's just no real life to it.
And that's, as we were talking about, one of the things that Billy Connors had tried to work with him on is staying on top of the ball. But when you don't, and you do drop down, you lose that little pop right about the time it gets to home plate, huh?
No question. You lose any movement that you have on the ball at the hitting zone. There's only 3 things that a pitcher has to work with, 3 qualities that he brings to home plate: the velocity, the movement, and the location. And those are the 3 things that you want to have on the ball when you get it to home plate. And if nothing else, you want to have 2 out of the 3. That's kind of a basic rule. If you're 2 out of the 3, you're going to be somewhat effective. When you're 3 for 3, got good movement, great velocity, or the correct velocity, and good location, you're going to be unhittable.
Tabler wide of Laritz, 1 hands. To Mattingly, 2 down. So for the second straight time, Pat Tabler has bounced out to Jim Laritz.
One of the things, George, that a pitcher has to do, and a pitcher to be successful must recognize when he's throwing the ball incorrectly. And Andy Hawkins falls into a pattern a lot of times of going an entire inning or a couple of innings and throwing the ball incorrectly. There are some things that happen at home plate when you deliver the ball that should be an indicator that, yes, now I'm throwing the ball wrong. Why am I throwing it wrong? And correct it immediately. Correct it within 1 or 2 pitches.
Mike McFarland grounded to Espinosa back in the second inning. How much of that is a function of the catcher, too?
It's a function of the catcher, it's a function of the manager, and it's a function of the pitching coach. It's everybody's responsibility. But more than anybody else, it's the responsibility of the pitcher himself to know what he is doing incorrectly, to be able to recognize it immediately. The pitching coach and the manager can only go to the mound once every inning before you're out of there. They should have some little audio, verbal signs or visual signs, get some attention, point to a certain part of the body, point to the left elbow, point to the right elbow, the left shoulder, or whatever. Each individual will have a certain key, and you can
communicate certain things to a pitcher that way.
2 balls, 1 strike. Did you have those signs with Brody?
Definitely. I had my signs with the pitching coach.
Right.
I had my pitching coach look over, and I would check with him, depending on how I was throwing, sometimes every other pitch. If I was throwing well, I didn't have to worry about it. And then if I was throwing incorrectly, or let's say every 3 or 4 pitches felt like I was throwing incorrectly, I would basically look over, and my coaches had certain parts of the anatomy that they would point to. There you see the mechanics from up above. That ball just missed inside. They might point to to their left shoulder, and that meant something to me. They might point to the left elbow. But there were certain visual signals that they would give me that meant something to me, and for me to be conscious of, they might point to the left knee. Their left knee, meaning for me to make sure that I, as a pitcher, get my left knee up, so my arm would have enough time to get into throwing position.
Pacoda fouls it to the right side and into the seats. No balls and 2 strikes. His last time up and first time up of the ball game, Pacoda hit his first home run of the year, and only 8th as a major leaguer. Well past about the 330 mark in left field. Foul back again. That's the 3rd walk issued by Hawkins. The other 2 have preceded Bo Jackson home runs. So while the Royals only have 3 hits, they have 5 runs to show for it. The Yankees have 5 hits and only 1 run to show for it. Bo and George Brett, the duo that have combined for 4 of the 5 runs. This time he gets Pacoda, and the Royals are retired after the walk to McFarland. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th at Yankee Stadium. The Royals 5-3-0. The Yankees 1-5-0.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, charming, disarming, whatever they do. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, bright baby smile, ooh, great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
Loaded with features, built for speed, and with full-range autofocus, it can stop on a dime. The newest VHS camcorder from JVC. We just made recorded history again. Once you consider the complications of other camcorders, the best plug for JVC is no plug at all. It fits right in your VHS VCR. JVC. We just made recorded history again.
Watch the show. See our sights. Ride the ride. Bites.
This fun park has a deadly attraction.
Piss Armstrong.
Oh, my God.
Dennis Quaid and Louis Gossett Jr.
Take the ride of your life.
Jaws 3. Wednesday at 8 on Channel 11.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Yankee Stadium, and time for tonight's trivia quiz. Tonight's trivia: what hitter holds the Major League record for most strikeouts in a World Series, in a single World Series? Not total over a number of years, but a single World Series.
Laritz, Barfield, and Moss due up for the Yankees against Storm Davis. The Yankees 1 run on 5 hits. The Royals 5 runs on 3 hits at Yankee Stadium. Game 2 of the 3-game midweek series. Yankees won the first game 3-2 last night, as Jeff Robinson won his first start with the Yankees, and Dave Righetti came in to slam the door. And that's the kind of pitching combo, Tom, that you talked to Dave about before the game, that certainly gave the fans something to cheer about last night.
Well, it's been kind of dismal since the All-Star break. And it's funny how one game can sometimes turn an attitude around of a ball club. You could see the emotion that Dave Righetti had last night after the game. He pitched so very well. Billy Connors said he threw extremely well. Said Robinson pitched extremely well. And real happy with their stuff. The great coordination out of the bullpen. It's funny, you can have a bad season, and then on certain nights, you look like absolute world beaters.
And for Jeff Robinson, it certainly was an important night because he had struggled in the bullpen for a while and said he felt like it was coming back, and certainly he looked better than he's looked since the first 2-3 weeks of the season last night.
Billy Connors saying that he had a little bit of adjustment getting the hand out of the glove. He's trying to do the same thing with Alan Mills and get his hands going. Attempted delivery, a pitcher will bring their hands into their waist and stop them there, and all of a sudden they're late getting into throwing position. And what Billy tries to do is get the hands away from the body so they can't stop that throwing arm, and then just keep it right on going into the delivery.
Second straight time Larritz has walked, and that'll bring up Barfield. Jesse in the second inning, after Nokes had doubled and Larritz had walked, bounced into a 5-4 force play, and then Moss singled in the Yankee first run, and then Espinosa laid down a bunt up the first base line, and it appeared, and again, we won't really know till we get a chance to talk to everybody after the game, it appeared that the squeeze might have been on at that point in time, and Barfield just missed the sign. Larritz leads off first. Davis, 1 ball and no strikes to Barfield. Deep to left field, curving foul in the upper deck. Barfield hit it a ton, but about 30 feet foul. The ball is carrying tonight.
There have been some balls in the hitting part of the strike zone and have been hit well. Storm Davis says, I'm not going to throw that fastball anymore. We'll go back to the curveball. Do you get the feeling, George, of Storm Davis maybe trying to hang on for 5 innings?
He does not appear to be the aggressive pitcher that he was. Up the middle, over is Stillwell to Pacoda. They get 1, but that's all. Nice pick by Stillwell, and a very tough play for Pacoda, who has taken over the second base job. Here's the grab. Pacoda unsure of exactly where he is.
I think Pacoda was a little bit surprised that he got the ball from Stillwell. Stillwell went behind him. Maybe Pacoda thought he was going to go to first base. He made a good play just to handle that little flip toss to him. The second time that Jesse's grounded into a fielder's choice.
There's a guy who thought his season was over a couple of weeks ago, Kurt Stillwell. Moss up. Kevin singled to right his first time up to knock in the Yankee first run. Stillwell thought he had a disc problem, and as it turned out, it was only a kidney stone. And once he passed it, he was fine. Day after that was back in the lineup. One day he was facing season-ending surgery. The next day, that really only happened to you once, wasn't it? When you had the knee trouble in Boston.
That was it. That was it. Except I didn't wake up the next day and say, oh, I'm okay now.
Swung on and missed, Kevin Moss. And another look as Espinosa comes up.
Good pitch by Storm Davis. Watching Davis work it, it looks like he's throwing a percentage of pitches that and not much to them. And then all of a sudden he'll make 3 or 4 real good pitches in a row. But he'll make that mistake and throw a couple of lousy pitches.
Up the middle, almost hits the bag. Pacoda gets it and throws out Espinosa at first. A tough play for Pacoda, and he makes it on Espinosa. So the Yankees get a base runner, but that's about it. Nothing in the fourth inning. We'll go to the fifth inning at Yankee Stadium. The Royals 5, the Yankees 1.
Delta introduces a level of service with which you're already quite familiar, just not at 35,000 feet. Person-to-person service, non-stop to Los Angeles, 3 times a day. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
Did you know that there is a belief in business today that some long-distance companies can save you lots of money over AT&T? But this has grown way out of proportion, especially if you're a small business. Look at it this way. When you compare the other guys' long-distance rates next to AT&T long-distance, you'll find you can get AT&T quality at extremely competitive prices. And there's nothing inflated about that.
Hello?
Value, another AT&T advantage.
What a face, huh? Well, for that little guy, Kevin Moss, Jim Leyritz, Deion Sanders, the youth of today. Yes, the youth of today and the stars of tomorrow, the new young faces of the Yankees. Back into action against the Royals tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. All kids 14 and under. Yeah, tomorrow's game will receive a Yankee visor, compliments of Looney Tunes. In addition, prior to the game, Bugs Bunny and his friends from Looney Tunes will present a 7-minute show. Tickets are on sale at the stadium and through Ticketmaster. So don't miss the Yankees versus the Royals tomorrow afternoon. And Looney Tunes Yankee Visor Day. That'll be at 1 o'clock. And tickets are on sale.
Busy week, of course. Tonight is Silver Shield Foundation night, and all the proceeds from this game are donated to the Silver Shield, which assists in paying for the education of the children of New York's firefighters, police, and state troopers who are killed in the line of duty. Since 1981, nearly $1.5 million has been raised through the Yankee donation of proceeds from the annual Silver Shield game. And today, always one of the exciting nights at Yankee Stadium. Good crowd on hand, and all for a good cause, too. Now, you come to a ballpark often, and maybe you might catch one foul ball in your career. This guy's caught 2 of them tonight. He said, I already got one. I gave it to the guy in front of me. What do you want from me? Andy Hawkins going to work on the top of the order. Kevin Seitzer, Kurt Stillwell, and George Brett. Seitzer flied to right his first time up, grounded to short on a great play by Espinosa back in the 3rd inning. And that one's up in the same area again, but this one ends up bouncing down into the lower deck. Andy Hawkins has allowed the Royals 5 runs on 3 hits. 2 of the 3 hits, home runs by Bo Jackson. The other one, a home run by Bill Pacoda. And there is hit number 4, a base hit. Barfield loses it momentarily and then recovers and gets it back into Sachs.
The shortstop, Kurt Stillwell.
A look at Barfield in the outfield here. That's another dance we can put in. That's coordination, huh?
You know it's down there somewhere.
Fortunately, he didn't get by him because Seitzer had made the turn and was thinking about going to second. Stillwell up. Kurt flied to center his first time up and then lined to third on a fine play by Leyritz in the 3rd inning. Getting back to Andy Hawkins, Tom, when you look at Hawkins, and mechanics is part of it, but Galen Cisco mentioned it, and certainly there's been talk for the last 3 or 4 years that many people think he needs another pitch. Foul back by Stillwell, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
I think he needs a consistent pitch, George. And I think his mechanics lead him to a situation where he's inconsistent. He has a very very good fastball, by the way, when he throws correctly. But when he throws incorrectly, he has a flat fastball, and he throws it up a lot. And I think that's why he got into this cutter deal. He wants to throw a cut fastball, which is a little bit of movement on it. Now, that ball, you can see that ball tonight. It's just straight as an arrow. And it's up as well. He's throwing the ball up from the waist up. A lot of pitches that look good to hit. Well, it's okay to throw up there if you have good life on the ball. But a lot of pitches that he throws do not have life on. Now watch the ball. Watch the movement on the ball. And when a ball moves like that, up in the strike zone moves like that, that's just a dead fastball. That ball's okay if you throw it down on the knees and run it off the plate. But you're throwing that ball from the waist up, and you're going to get in a lot of trouble up there.
George Brett has created some trouble of his own over the years. In his career, 28 home runs against the Yankees. Tonight, the Yankees have pitched him very gingerly, 2 walks. But both of those walks have been followed by Bo Jackson home runs as Brett takes a long look over to Adrian Garrett, the third base coach, with Jackson in the on-deck circle. Bob Schaefer, the first base coach for the Royals here tonight. Schaefer, a native of Norwich, Connecticut, still lives there. With the team playing in Boston and then in New York, you did have a chance to see a lot of the family in the last few days. Sights are off first, not going. Brett, fair ball down the line, hits the edge of the grass. A fan touches it, and first base umpire Don Denkinger says we'll leave Brett at second and leave Seitzer at third. The ball may have made it into the corner. In the long run, the Yankees are probably lucky that the fan did touch it, because it was hit hard enough that Barfield would have had a tough time getting there to cut it off. That's an umpire's decision as to where the runners would be, and Stump Merrill's going to come out and have a chat with Andy Hawkins as Jackson is due up. Watch how this hits the edge of the grass.
Right inside the bag. And hits the edge of the grass and just caroms. That ball actually would have gone into the seats. And it was fair when it went by the bag, but kicked over toward the stands, and the fan made an error on the play. Stump Merrill staying with his right-hander. With first base open, you would think that Bo Jackson would get a complimentary base on balls.
Here is home run number 2 back in the third inning to right field. He clubs this one. You got to figure that the word from Stump is don't take any chances here. The base is open, and if you're not going to walk him intentionally, give him your...
Either you want to know my theory here?
Walk him intentionally.
You either walk him or you pitch to him.
Right.
None of this in-between stuff.
Three home runs for Bo Jackson. And Jackson, a 2-run home run in the first, a 2-run home run in the third, a 3-run home run here in the fifth. 7 of the 8 Royal runs belong to number 16. And on the year, that is now 16 home runs that Andy Hawkins has given up. And with Stump Merrill coming fifth inning, the interest starts to grow for number 16 because he is one home run away from history.
Just absolutely raw power. A fly ball to right field, but with a short porch here in Yankee Stadium. You can see that ball popped up in the air, but he is just so strong, just raw power. And that's just a fly ball to right field in Kansas City. But here in New York, 3:14 down the line, Jackson getting the benefit of the dimensions of the ballpark. The other two home runs that he hit, I mean, there was no ballpark around that was going to hold it. There's Mickey Cobb, the trainer, paying homage to Mr. Jackson with his bald head. Well, he is putting on some show here tonight.
Now, Stump Merrill made the trek out to the mound just prior to Jackson's home run and talked to that man, Andy Hawkins. You know that he said, don't make a mistake. You got first base open, but as we talked about, if you're going to pitch him that way,
you pitch to him. If you don't want me to pitch to him, I'll put him on first base. Nothing in between. A lot of times, you just stay away from the hot hand, obviously, when you're pitching. And the first pitch that Hawkins threw was way out of the strike zone. And it looked as if, well, I'm just not even going to give him anything to hit here. A fastball on the outer part of the plate. Bo Jackson able to extend his arms and get some leverage.
Popped up to the left side. Noakes is over in foul territory. Laritz calls him off. And Gerald Perry is retired. He was 0 for 2. The foul pop makes it 0 for 3. Andy Hawkins, what a roller coaster the year has been for him. Nothing was going right on the mound. Then he turned it around. Pitches the no-hitter, a no-hitter that he lost. Came back with another exceptional performance and now leaves in favor of Cadaret. Jimmy Eisenreich bounced to second his first time up and then fly to left. Base is empty. The damage has been done. One ball and one strike with 2 outs. To short, Espinosa takes the tricky hop and the quick flip to Mattingly, and the side is retired, but not before the Royals and that man Bo come up with 3 more. The Royals 8 runs on 6 hits. The Yankees 1 run on 5 hits. We're now going to
introduces the bigger-than-ever 4-door Chevy S10 Blazer. Now America's best-loved sport utility vehicle gives you 25% more cargo room and 100% more doors. The bigger-than-ever, better-than-ever 1991 4-door S10 Blazer. Open one and see why nobody's winning life.
Wednesday and Friday night at 8 on Channel 11. How do you get real premium beer taste in a non-alcoholic brew? You start with a real premium beer. That's how Anheuser-Busch makes O'Doul's. O'Doul's is carefully brewed, fully fermented, and cold-aged. Then the alcohol is naturally removed, retaining all the great taste. So how do you get real premium beer taste in a non-alcoholic brew? Ask for an ice-cold O'Doul's. O'Doul's, the taste will win you over.
The baby in this picture is going to have a very special year. A year of first steps, first words, first birthday. And none of these firsts will ever happen again. Now, if you were this baby's parents, which film would you choose? No other film in the world gives you truer color than Kodacolor Gold film. Aren't your pictures worth gold?
Back at Yankee Stadium, Roberto Kelly, Deion Sanders, Steve Sax due up, numbers 9, 1, and 2 in the batting order. Kelly popped out to first his first time up. Roberto, of course, being moved from center field to left field. Defensively and offensively dropped from the leadoff spot to the number 9 spot. Here's the way he views that move.
Well, really, like I said, I'll be happy in center field, but, you know, Stump called me in the office yesterday, and he said that he feels that Deion's a better center fielder than he's a left fielder, and he wants to put the best outfielder he can out there, so he feels I can play a better center field, and Deion can play center field, so, you know, we talked about it, and, you know, I said, well, you know, if the team is going that bad, you know, at this point, you need to make a change, I guess. You just have to do it.
Does it bother you?
Well, like I said, I always been a...
Roberto Kelly off the left field wall for a double, and the Yankees have the leadoff hitter on here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Another look.
You talked about it earlier, George, about how the ball is carrying. Roberto Kelly held it well, but he skied it to left. Jim Eisenreich giving it a shot and should have caught the ball.
Deion Sanders bounces one down the right side, and Pacoda shoveling to Brett will not get the fleet-footed Sanders, and the Yankees have first and third with no one out. And Deion looks as if he may have either pulled a groin or a hamstring as he crossed the bag.
Steve Sax.
Mike Farrar, the first base coach, checking with him. He says he's okay.
Boy, that just shows you how speed can buy base hits right there. I mean, Deion was flying down the line, and he just hit the bag a little bit awkwardly with his, when he stepped on it, and I think turned his ankle or his calf, strained his calf. Wow.
Sax hits it deep to left field. Way back is Eisenreich. It's gone! Steve Sax, his second home run of the year, a 3-1 shot, and it's an 8-4 ball game. Comes John Wathan to talk to Storm Davis as the Yankee bench celebrates. Home run number 2 for Sax. You mentioned it, Tom. There's some pitches that he's been throwing that just don't seem to have anything on it, and Sax turns on that one.
Boy, the little second baseman for the Yankees crushed that ball. There's not much there, and he just turned it right around to left field.
Not often Steve Sax gets to turn on a ball like that, and he did it with authority. For Sax, his second home run, he now has 24 runs batted in as Mattingly steps in. And talking about not having a chance to do it often. Mattingly stuck at 169 career home runs. Has gone 180 at-bats without a round tripper. Maybe there's something in the air tonight, Tom.
A lot of high pitches in that strike zone.
The second base. And there is one out.
The catcher, Matt Milks.
Dave LaPointe to the right of Steve Sachs and Espinosa to his left. He's still pumped on that one.
You see him come in there high-fiving everybody? Oh, you're going to break somebody's wrist.
He is intense.
That's the time you go get a cup of coffee. If you say you're just doing it for the team, I don't want to get hurt.
I don't want to high-five him. To left field, over is Eisenreich, near the corner. At the warning track, he makes the catch. That's one of the reasons why Jim Eisenreich is so valuable. He plays all three outfield positions and plays them well. And he chases this one down.
Good defensive play by Eisenreich. He misplayed the ball off the bat of Kelly. He drifted with the ball instead of getting back to the fence. Had he gone back to the fence on Roberto's ball, he would have had it easily. But he drifted and then got caught up right at the bottom of the fence and couldn't make the play. But a good defensive play in that situation because he hustled right off the bat and got to the spot and was there when the ball came down.
Jim Leyritz walked his first time up, walked again in the fourth inning. Two outs, no balls, one strike. To right center field, Tabler over it. It won't reach the alley as Pat Tabler chases it down right before the warning track, about 360 feet away. So the Yankees get a couple of hits and then the Sachs 3-run home run as Storm Davis goes to the dugout with a lead, but the lead is dwindled. The Royals lead the Yankees 8-4.
For a great place for the family this summer? Well, Action Park has 75 of the wildest, wettest family rides in the world just minutes away.
The action never stops at Action Park.
One night each year, things are a little different for the day shift at Engine Company 289 in Corona. Baseball night at the stadium. All week, John Kane's been poring over the baseball stats in the Daily News, and Rick Duran's been reading Vic Ziegel. Some things never change. Summer nights of baseball and the paper that's caught every pitch for 70 years. The Daily News, New York's hometown paper.
I'd give my mom a lot more credit. At Bloomingdale's, Saks, Macy's.
We'd have identical Porsches, right?
I'd send my kids to college and myself to Europe.
I would scream.
Twice a week, someone could win millions of dollars.
I'd become a best-selling author, even if I had to buy every copy of my book.
New York Lotto. All you need is $1 and a dream.
We're back at the stadium in time for tonight's trivia answer. The question was, what hitter holds the Major League record for most strikeouts in a single World Series? I'll give you a clue. It was 1980. And the Royals against the Philadelphia Phillies. Willie Wilson struck out 12 times in that World Series, the all-time record. And the New York Yankees struck out the most in World Series play, 54 times. Number 7. That's the only clue I'm going to give you. Can you figure it out? Hey, my trivia questions are easy. You wore number 7. Who was it?
Willie Wilson has his share of home runs, but they're the inside the park variety. He still leads the major leagues, current major leaguers, with 13 of those. Hasn't had one for a few years. He's had, I think, 3 against the Yankees.
Playing in that ballpark, you're going to get some.
Tabler, McFarland, and Pacoda do up. The short, Espinosa, one away. Steve Sachs has a 3-run home run on the night, but this night so far has belonged to Bo Jackson. A 2-run home run in the first, a 2-run home run in the third, and another home run, a 3-run shot in the 5th inning. Home runs number 17, 18, and 19 on the year. The 7 runs batted in now give him 57 on the year. His first 3-homer game of his career. And the last one, number 100 of his major league career. One ball and 1 strike to the catcher, Mike McFarland.
This is the 23rd year, George, of the Con Edison Yankee Kids program. And this year, the program will provide tickets without charge to 78,000 youngsters, 8 to 16 years of age in New York City and Westchester. One of the great things that goes on here at Yankee Stadium.
Cadaret into his 2nd inning of work. He got the final 2 outs of the 5th inning. And here in the 6th, has gotten Tabler to ground to short. In relief of Andy Hawkins, who had trouble with the home run ball tonight. The Hawk gave up 4 home runs all told, 3 to Jackson and 1 to Pacoda. Cadaret, last time out, had an exceptional relief appearance. A lengthy one. Here's the 1-2 with 1 out. Way outside, 2-2.
We were talking about mechanics before, George. And one of the things that a pitching coach tries to develop with his pitchers, and should try to develop, is that each individual pitcher, that's skied out of play, really has one point or one thing that he does that really kind of pulls everything together, or a most important thing that he does in his mechanics and his windup that gets things together. And that's one of the things that a pitching coach will look for, and it certainly is not the same for each pitcher. Every pitcher's a little bit different.
A year like this certainly has to test the fiber of an Andy Hawkins. What a roller coaster from the bottom to the top, and then the roller coaster's on the way down right now. But he is the kind of individual that has the composure. He never changes the way he comes to the ballpark and the way he deals with family and friends. But it cannot be easy to go through a roller coaster like this.
Well, the thing is, when you pitch well, and Andy at times has pitched extremely well, and then pitched very poorly, you just have to be able to come up with some answers, because there's evidently nothing physically wrong with Andy Hawkins. So then it's really a matter of, from a mechanical standpoint, just getting yourself organized. And Andy has not been able to put his finger on that as yet.
And that man, Stump Merrill, had just been looking for somebody to come up as his stopper, because every time you turn around, he gets a good performance yesterday from Robinson and thinks, well, maybe today we're in pretty good shape. And then whammo. To the right side, Barfield drifting over towards the line as it curves to the foul line. Jesse one-hands, and McFarland is retired on the 3-2 pitch. The one thing the Mets could rely on and the Reds could rely on was a Tom Seaver to end the losing streak. The one thing the Yankees have not had is the luxury of knowing that there has been someone there to end the losing streak. Tim Leary has pitched exceptionally well through most of the first half of the year, just didn't get any runs. And now he's had his dry spell.
Well, we talked about it, going all the way back to last year, George, about having a stopper, having the big guy, having an Oral Hershiser, or having a Nolan Ryan, or having a Roger Clemens, or a Dave Stewart, somebody of that nature who is going to be the flagship of your staff, of your pitching staff. And the Yanks really have not been able to come up with it. There was some hope, hopefully, this year that Pascual Perez would be able to do it. But he has gone down as far as the disabled list goes. And Timmy Leary would be a superb #2 starter on a staff. But for the last couple of years, the Yanks have had to do without that big guy in the solid every day, every 5th day in the rotation. And it takes its toll. It takes a toll on the bullpen. One of the things about having that kind of guy on the bullpen, the day before your #1 pitcher goes to the mound, you've got a luxury of going deep into your bullpen.
Dakota gets down the line quickly, but Sachs scoops and throws him out. So, hey, 1, 2, 3. The Royals are retired here in the 6th. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th at Yankee Stadium. Kansas City continues to lead the Yankees 8-4.
You find it in promises, and you find it in plans, in the midst of laughter, and in silences shared. When the deal is sealed, and when the dance is done, it's there. And for 80 million responsible Americans, it's simply a good part of the good life. It's beer. A message from Budweiser.
Citibank, America's first global financial services corporation, has the power and the resources to help you with all your financial needs. Our bank, Citibank, is the one most widely used by American corporations and individuals. As Citicorp and Citibank, we serve over 30 million customers in 90 countries. In fact, Citibank, known worldwide as the financial leader, is ready to do whatever it takes to help you succeed. Citibank, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
In today's competitive car market, there's one place that gives you the advantage. The advantage of Dodge Caravan, America's best-selling minivan. More cargo room than Chevy Lumina vans. And the highest customer satisfaction ranking of any minivan sold in the U.S. Plus the advantage of a great selection and up to $1,032 in savings on popular options packages on select models. There's only one place that has the edge. It's Advantage Dodge.
Back at Yankee Stadium, you're about to get a sense of history and a sense of nostalgia as Mel Stottlemyre Jr. gets an ovation from the crowd here as he's announced he's making his Major League debut. We talked to him prior to today's ball game, and the son of Mel Stottlemyre, the former Yankee pitcher, is walking on air tonight.
I'm very happy. I tell you, I've come a long ways in my career with all the injuries that I've had, and I think it's going to be something special if I get a chance to pitch at Yankee Stadium where my father spent his 10 years his big league career. So I know it was very special for Todd to come here and pitch at Yankee Stadium, and I'm waiting for that chance.
What did you think when you walked in for the first time as a major leaguer here?
I tell you, it was an unbelievable feeling. I mean, the last month I've been thinking about it, and there's been rumors that, you know, there might be a chance that I go up, but until actually they tell you that you're going to Yankee Stadium and that you're going to the big leagues, I tell you, I was shaking when they told me, and you know, I'm just very happy and fortunate to even be pitching today and still be playing professional ball. So hopefully I can take advantage of the situation and leave a good impression on them that they'll keep me here.
You know, some goosebumps for that young man right now. His brother Todd, a pitcher with the Toronto Blue Jays, last year finally had his chance to pitch here, and Mel Jr. did mention he talked to his dad and his brother, and they both just wished him the best. And he mentioned coming back, Tom, he's had no less than 7 different operations.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Barfield to third.
Yeah, at such a young age. And he mentioned it a couple times in that interview. You know, that's been a tough thing for the young right-hander to deal with. Amazing. 3 in the same family in the big leagues. 2 of them as pitchers and 1 as a coach. Mel, of course, the pitching coach for the New York Mets.
5 knee operations.
Bragging rights at Thanksgiving dinner, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. One away as Ma steps in. Stottlemyre's had 5 knee operations, 2 operations on the shoulder, and he keeps coming back. He has been moved to relief. Was a starter when he first began pitching, and then little by little they decided that we'll just let him go as long as he can, as far as he can, and this is a testimony tonight to his genes, his family, and that young man's hard work.
Hard work and the fortitude that they had to have. Holy mackerel.
You look at the Yankee record book, games, innings, wins, strikeouts, shutouts, complete games, ERA. His dad, Mel Stottlemyre, is in the top 10 in every one of those categories for the Yankees. Fastball, slide up, change your pitcher. And a great competitor. Kevin Maas tonight singled in the second inning to knock in the Yankees' first run and struck out in the fourth, both against Storm Davis. Fastball down low, fouled away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Royals have had their troubles with their pitching staff. Both Gubiza and Saberhagen are now on the disabled list, and while it has not been good news for John Watson and John Schuerholz, certainly it's given young Mel Stottlemyre Jr. his chance tonight. He was talking before the game of memories of the days when he'd be out shagging flies as a 9 or 10-year-old at Yankee Stadium. He said, this is the first time I've ever been on this field, and it wasn't like noon or 1 o'clock when it was about 5 o'clock. 2-2 pitch.
He's out there shaking McFarland off, calling his own pitches. He says, I got a good instructor at home, you know, I'll call my own pitches. Dad taught me well.
3-2 pitch. Ball 4, and the first walk issued by Stottlemyre, and that'll bring up Espinosa as the third baseman Seitzer comes over and talks with him. Over the years, I've talked with Mel Stottlemyre about Todd and Mel Jr., and he spends a good deal of his time as Maas leads off. Foul back by Espinosa, 1 strike. Mel Sr. spends a good deal of his time keeping tabs on his sons when they're in the minor league, making phone calls from his hotel rooms. And you know somehow tonight the phone's going to be jingling when this game is over. Espinosa trying to pick up on Kevin Maas now. The Yankees trail by 4, 8-4. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Royals 8 runs on 6 hits. The big story tonight, Bo Jackson thus far, he has 3 home runs. A 2-run home run in the first, a 2-run home run in the third, and a 3-run home run in the 5th. Breaking ball hammered into the left field corner over his Eisenreich. It's off the wall. Around second is Maas. He'll go to third, standing up, and Espinosa has a stand-up double.
On it, maybe a changeup left in the inside part of the plate, and Espinosa just turned on it for his 7th double of the season. And the ball being hit hard here at Yankee Stadium tonight by both ball clubs.
Espinosa didn't miss his 2nd home run of the year by much, and that brings up Roberto Kelly, who bounced one off the wall in left center field his last time up for a double. He's 1 for 2. 2 on, 1 out. To short. Stillwell will go to first. Brett digs it out, and Maas scores, and it's an 8-5 ball game. Kevin Maas, the left-hand hitter, obviously giving Don Mattingly an idea of what Mel Stottlemyre Jr. threw him. Scouting reports will tell you one thing, but there's nothing like getting a word from one of your teammates. And you know that's got to make Maas feel pretty good about giving Don Mattingly an eye on a pitcher. Brings up Deion Sanders. 1 for 3. 2 fly balls to center and a topped ball down towards second that he beat out. 2 balls, no strikes. Seitzer in on the grass at third. And again, we'll remind you that Stump Merrill's coming out to talk to home plate umpire Durwood Merrill.
Why, we got a minute here, George. Across the wire, pitcher Lance McCullers, of course, who used to be with the Yankees, who was traded to Detroit, was admitted to Ford Hospital in Detroit tonight after being diagnosed to have a blood clot in the artery of his right shoulder. McCullers had been complaining about a tired arm and was examined by the Tigers team doctor. And a doctor at Ford Hospital, and evidently an artery, a clot in the artery of his right shoulder. Certainly hope that Lance is all right.
Send along our best. 2 balls and 1 strike, and about the closest thing that you may want to look at here is number 1 was at a balk, and number 2 is he stopping enough in that motion when he comes to the stop position. And as Stump came out, he was motioning towards the mound. And Showalter went over to third base umpire Rocky Rowe and was saying the same thing. It's up high, and it's a 3-2 count to Sanders as Don Mattingly loosens in the Yankee dugout. 2 outs, 3-2, 8-5 ball game.
Espinosa jumping around at third base. Buck Showalter knows that Mel Stottlemyre Jr. has got to be a little bit nervous here, his first time in the major leagues, especially at Yankee Stadium, and trying to get the balk call.
To center field, over is Jackson. It's by him. 1 run scores. This could be 4 for Sanders. Look at him move. Sanders around third. Showalter's going to send him in. Here's the throw to the plate. He scores! Yes! The Royals will argue that he didn't touch the plate the first time and that he was tagged before he got back to the plate the second time. We'll check the replay. It looked as if he hit the plate the first time anyways, but home plate umpire Durwood Merrill says he got back to the plate before the tag was put on him. John Wathan sees it differently. That is Deion Sanders at his best. I tell you, you got to give the Royals credit because Jackson made the dive for the ball, and they played this about as well as you could play it. The relay, and Jackson fell right on his rib cage, trying to straighten himself out. Another look, Tom.
Jackson thought he could cut the ball off, simply could not get there. Sanders getting a go from Showalter. In fact, did not touch home plate the first time by. McFarland blocked him. He went right over the top of the plate, never touched home plate. And backed up beautifully by Stottlemyre. And the ball came loose from McFarland. And Sanders got in. He was out if McFarland had been able to hold on to the ball, but he dropped it. This is Sanders full speed coming around second. A slight hesitation at third. And the go sign from Showalter. And you can see that he never touched home plate. And just did get the hand in there. It's a 1-run ball game.
Another look from behind the plate. Give Durwood Merrill credit. He waited to make the call. Watch here. You'll see a good look at the ball squirting away at home. McFarland never has the ball. Now he does. But by then he's already touched the plate. And Jackson still holding his side after diving for that ball, may be coming out of the ball game. He's coming to the bench, and Willie Wilson will come out. Another look, and you'll see how he hits on the turf at Yankee Stadium.
It looked like he hurt his left elbow, maybe his left hip. He'll leave the game. He was very disgusted. He kicked his glove, drop kicked it as he was coming off, and it looks like a left elbow. So he will miss a chance at possibility of a 4th home run. And Willie Wilson's going to go to center field. Maybe his back, Mickey Cott, trying to hold on to him. Oh, he has hurt something. Maybe a left shoulder.
Shoulder could be too. You're right.
Something's hurting somewhere.
Bo has a sense of history, certainly, and he realizes how close he is to history tonight. Boy, he hits that hard. Meanwhile, Sachs steps in against Stottlemyre, so the Yankees keep chipping away. 3 in the 5th, now 3 here in the 6th. And Sachs hits it to right center field. Over is Willie Wilson, calling everybody off. And the Yankees are retired, but not before Deion Sanders inside the park. Electricity brings the Yankee fans to their feet, and the Yankees back in the ball game. On the Toyota scoreboard, the score at the end of 6, the Royals 8, the Yankees 7.
When the pressure's on, Citgo's here to get you where you're going, especially when you're going home.
Going home. Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Charming, disarming, whatever they do. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, a bright baby smile, blue-gray muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health thing, baby.
He's got you hooked. He's gonna really win. For one fish story after another. Shaw's 3. And Charles, The Revenge.
Oh, my God.
Wednesday and Friday night at 8 on Channel 11.
Back in the stadium, now a 1-run ball game. Hold on to your hats. Find a place to sit down. One of the most exciting games the Yanks have played all year. An inside the park home run by Deion Sanders. 3 home runs from Bo Jackson, and Jackson out of the game. And Scooter, this is turning up the blood pressure, isn't it?
Now, this is the second time within 3 days that the Yankees have bounced back from 7-1 and 8-1 deficits to make a close game of it. And if they can win this one after that big win last night, this team could make a complete turnaround for the rest of the year.
It'll be Kevin Seitzer, Kurt Stillwell, and George Brett, the 1-2-3 hitters for Kansas City.
It's a shame Bo got hurt. You know?
Yes, it is. And he was upset. Fans were a little bit upset about it. You could tell he wanted to stay in the game. Hit hard to right center. Nobody can get there. Boy, and a hitter's night at Yankee Stadium. A leadoff double by Kevin Seitzer. His second hit of the ball game.
So the balls are carrying tonight, and the wind is not a factor, but it's just that kind of a night.
Deion almost got there, too, Scooter.
I know it. He can fly. Had to slow down because of the fence.
he's been doing some running, hasn't he?
He's going to be a tired young man.
Huffing and a puffing. Kurt Stillwell. Time called at home plate. Stillwell is 0 for 3, was robbed of a base hit by Leyritz in his third of a line drive. .275, a home run, 35 RBIs, and that's popped to right field.
He's not going to advance on that one.
Nope, an easy play for Barfield. And
oh, I hate to see him make that throw like that. You got to hit that cutoff man, let her high.
You know, I was watching the Yankees. They took infield today, Scooter.
Yeah.
And sometimes you judge people by how they go about their practice.
Yes, absolutely.
And Jesse Barfield practices exactly the same way he's going to play in the ball game. He practices throws, his delivery, when he gets his release of the ball. And there is a reason why he is an outstanding defensive outfielder.
Oh, yes.
And when he gets that chance to practice, he practices with great application and great concentration. Not so good for the other couple of outfielders I was watching. And Barfield had the best work ethic in the outfield of the day. And we will keep a tab as we go along. And
good thing to look for.
Keep you apprised of it.
Because Mattingly has those work habits too, but I think right now he's just doing a little too much of it.
George Brett is 1 for 1. He walked the first 2 times up when he was facing Andy Hawkins. Hawkins really wanted no part of it. And then had a double in the 5th inning. And scored 3 runs. 8-7 Royals, and we're on the top of the 7th inning. Seitzer at second. Up and away, and it's 3-0. Catteray came into the game in the 5th inning after Bo Jackson's 3rd home run. Base hit by Seitzer, the only hit that he has given up. Comes back and it's 3-1 to Brett. Slider on 3-1. Brett was looking fastball. And he got the breaking ball 3-1 and swung right through it. Willie Wilson on deck will come to the plate after Brett here for his first time at bat. He went in defensively after Bo Jackson hurt himself in the outfield last inning. 3-2 to Brett. And that's fouled into the stands.
We've got a special hello to Julia McIntyre, a great Yankee fan from California. Is he here at the game tonight? Or has he got cable and watching us out in Mrs. Julia McIntyre from Fresno, California. I don't blame him. If you're going to do something, do it correctly. Just like I was handed a note, it said, not since June of 1986 a player has hit 3 home runs at Yankee Stadium. And I said, who was the player? And I just got it. Lee Lacy of Baltimore. Well, no wonder we had to get that right. That's Tom Seaver's mother-in-law. Well, I got to do that again. I didn't do that exactly right. A very special hello to Mrs. Julia McIntyre, a tremendous Yankee fan from Fresno, California, who just happens to be Tom Seaver's mother-in-law. And she used to be some Met fan, I understand, too, Steve. Now, don't give me that garbage. And White Sox fan. And anybody that wins 300 games on a guy's day.
Do you know that her husband,
Yeah.
Mr. Dean McIntyre, who is one of the great Notre Dame fans in this country,
Yes.
was here in this ballpark for your day in 1985. He came all the way from California to be here on your day.
No, it couldn't happen that you were pitching that he was here, right?
Just coincidence.
Just for you.
Willie Wilson batting for Bo Jackson. Jackson, of course, had 3 home runs and had to leave the game after the diving try and the ball hit by Deion Sanders in center field. Wilson hitting .279. From the right side, hitting just .237. A veteran, born and raised in this New Jersey area, been around this New York area, highly recruited football player.
Oh, he was.
Recruited by Tom Seaver, by the way, for the University of Southern California. Yep.
You weren't very persuasive, Tom.
A lot of other people weren't either. He went into the Royal organization. Wilson, 1 home run, 29 RBIs. And you still got to be careful if he gets on. He's got 20 stolen bases. Ball gets away from Noakes, and the runners will move up.
Oh, that's a tough play.
Wild pitch scored, and Brett goes down to second. And Seitzer down to third, so... Yep, the ball hit out in front of home plate. Definitely a wild pitch. And 2 Royals in scoring position. Alan Mills in the Yankee bullpen. Stands on the right, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Kansas City with a record of 39 and 48. They're last in this American League West. 16 and a half games behind Oakland. And it's just hard to believe they were going to be a contender when this season started. Inside, and it's 2-2. The White Sox hang in there. They're still just 2 games behind the Oakland Athletics. You look at the Kansas City Royal Ball Club. They're second in the American League in hitting. They're 4th in runs scored, 6th in earned run average. And you wonder how they can be last. That's going to be a base hit. And scored 2 runs. They'll never get George Brett. A ball not hit that well. So Willie Wilson with 2 RBIs.
Well, I tell you, that 4th spot has driven in 9 of the 10 runs tonight.
They took the words right out of their mouth. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Bo Jackson, it was a shame to see him out of the game. I mean, I would rather see him hit 5 home runs than a record.
Jackson had 7 RBIs, and now Wilson with 2 RBIs. And it's a 10-7 ball game. Bring up Gerald Perry. Right at Espinosa. Great play.
Boy, is he something? I'll tell you. He is unbelievable.
Well, I tell you, the Yanks, you better say a prayer that Gerald Perry's in the lineup. He's 0 for 4 now. And they got somebody out there they can get out. Here, Espinosa robs him of a base hit right on the nose. And good base running by Willie Wilson at first base.
Yeah, could easily have been double there.
Yep, going back on the line drive. And that'll bring up Jim Eisenreich with 2 outs.
Holy cow.
Another fine defensive play. Don Mattingly this time and takes a base hit away from Eisenreich. But the Royals come up with a couple of more runs. We go to the bottom of the 7th here at the stadium. It's 10-7 Royals. Mattingly, Noakes, and Leyritz for the Yankees. We're now going to pause for station identification.
Imagine over, and the whole family's going to see the big Christmas tree in Hirohito Center. Go ahead, keep buying Japanese cars. You say I want the best. Fine. Grand Am is #1 in its class. $2,000 cash back. Merry Christmas.
The Yankees take on the Twins Thursday at 8 on Channel 11.
Equipped with radar, it can shoot anything. And with digital superimpose, it can document the hit. The newest VHS camcorder from JVC. We just made recorded history again. Once you consider the complications of other camcorders, the best plug for JVC is no plug at all. It fits right in your VHS VCR. JVC. We just made recorded history again.
Not in one game, did he? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking to the airwaves. One of those nights when messages are coming in.
I didn't know if you were talking to me or you talking to John Moore or what.
Well, we got a new pitcher.
All right, Steve Farr coming in and replaced Mel Stottlemyre Jr., who made his major league debut in relief of Storm Davis, pitched an inning and gave up a couple of hits and 3 runs. Inside the park home run to Deion Sanders. So Steve Farr, you see the numbers, and as far as his season goes, 6-4, the earned run average under 2.5. His 34th appearance for the Kansas City Royals. He's made 3 starts. A very versatile pitcher, and he has an outstanding arm. He'll face Mattingly, Noakes, and Leyritz.
I wish that kid, Mel Stottlemyre Jr., was still in there. I'll never forget him running around here in little short pants.
He's got a nice, fresh Irish face, too, doesn't he?
He does. Hey, you must have liked that band before the game.
I did, too.
Really?
I most certainly did. The
Scottish Irish, but they had the Irish flag there.
Don Mattingly on the ground again, this time to Seitzer at third, and Mattingly is 1 for 4. Before the game today, the fans here at the ballpark entertained by, did you and George tell the people who was here before the game?
No.
The Transit Police Pipes and Drums Corps, the Housing Police Pipes and Drums Corps, the Police Department Emerald Society Pipe Band, and the Fire Department Emerald Society Bagpipe Band.
Oh, man.
And they put on some show. They were beautiful out here on the field. Now, I must say, they were practicing with their bagpipes in the tunnels downstairs about 2 hours before game time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so beautiful.
It was
down
pretty
there.
loud down there. That's
Echoing
why I
off those concrete walls, yeah.
That's where I first made contact. Didn't stay there too long, but I love the short dresses they were wearing. The skirts.
Kilts.
Oh,
Kilts.
pardon me.
Excuse me, yeah. Matt Noakes, base hit right field, his second base hit of the evening. Checking those legs out on those kilts, huh?
No.
Huh?
No.
I just... Huh?
No, but...
Aye, lad. And top of the morning to you, aye.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
Jim Leyritz. Noakes at first with 1 out. The Yanks down by 3. The Yankees have had 2 3-run innings. And the Royals have had 2 3-run innings. And the Royals have also had a couple of 2-run innings.
That's what we need.
A couple of 2-run innings.
Yes.
We get 2 2-run innings here. We'll win this game 11 to 10 if they don't score anymore.
Right.
10 to 7 Royals. We're in the bottom of the 7th. A lot of crooked numbers up there. He used to yell that at the bench on those low-scoring games as Scolas put a crooked number on the board. You made my mother-in-law's evening, by the way.
Well, I should. I'm glad you told me. By the way, tomorrow afternoon, the Yankees close out this series with the Royals, and it'll be on MSG. Dwayne Statz and Tony Kubek. And Al Troutwig, who does a great job. You know why I'm laughing? Because he always comes up with something new, something unusual.
To Leyritz. Inside, and it's 1-2.
1 o'clock that game starts tomorrow, right?
1 o'clock tomorrow. Third game of this 3-game series. Carey against Tom Gordon. And then the Yankees go on the road for an 11-game road trip. Minnesota, Texas, and Cleveland. Down to Seitzer. They get 1, and they get 2. The Yankees get a base hit from Matt Noakes, but the double play ball off of the bat of Jim Leyritz. And they come up with an empty number in the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th here at the stadium. The Royals up by 3, 10 to 7.
I say, put on some steaks and get the Queen a Bud Light.
Bud Light's clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never lets you down.
Henry, they're Pop-Tarts.
Everything else is just a light.
And then I came back to AT&T, and you would think that these other guys would give you a break. But no, first thing is don't you want instant credit? Great service. What I want is instant credit from an operator when I dial a wrong number. Well, don't you want big savings? Was I absent the day they gave out the big savings? Because I never saw them. Then he says, you'll save if you sign up now. Right. And I said, will you put that in writing? And he says, what?
Don't get pressured. Get the facts.
Still not AT&T, I tell her.
Well, there it is tomorrow, and a lot of new young faces on the Yankees will face the Kansas City Royals. Kevin Moss, Jim Leyritz, Deion Sanders. And all kids 14 and younger at tomorrow's game receive a Yankee Visor compliments of Looney Tunes. In addition, prior to the game, Bugs Bunny and his friends from Looney Tunes will present a 7-minute show. Tickets on sale at the stadium and through Ticketmaster. Don't miss the Yankees and the Royals and Looney Tunes Yankee Visor Day. Tomorrow afternoon at 1. Tickets on sale right now. There's some of the young kids enjoying the game.
Now pitching for the Yankees.
Look how demure that young lady is. In
There's
that
Scooter. They got Scooter on the board out there in center field. Look at that.
Where?
There he is.
Oh, that's live.
Well,
you get me waving?
What are you gonna do?
I was waving to him out there.
Well, good. Say hi. That's great.
Oh, there he is. Up. Nice going. There is Tom Seaver.
Anthony behind me.
And look at Dave over there. Oh, David.
Little baby David. That's right.
Got your slingshot there, David?
I tell you what, if we didn't have Anthony and David up here, this business here would be tougher in Chinese arithmetic.
Certainly would. I don't know what Chinese arithmetic is, but...
Oh, can you do it?
No.
Well, that's pretty tough, isn't it?
It's certainly. By the way, our director, Marty Race, is enjoying a birthday. He's our technical director, by the way. Happy birthday, Marty.
Alan Mills, the pitcher for the Yanks, in relief of Cadaret. Cadaret was in the ball game in place of Andy Hawkins. Cadaret came in the 5th inning. and gave up a couple of runs in the 7th. An RBI single to Willie Wilson. And now Alan Mills. Mills with a record of 1-3, a 3.6 ERA. And he'll face Tabler, McFarland, and Pacoda.
Now this kid can come on, Tom, and really look sharp for an inning and a half. And all of a sudden, I don't know, you being
well, you're right. No, you're exactly right.
I don't know whether it's concentration
Great
or
stuff.
what. Yeah.
It's a little bit of learning the trade.
Experience, huh?
Maintaining one's composure. That skied to right field. Tabler just missed it.
He was lucky. Got away with a pitch there.
And, yep, 1 out in the 8th. Mills took the loss last Sunday. He faced 6 batters and gave up a couple of singles, a double, and a walk. And was charged with 4 earned runs. There's some scores from the American League. A final in the Cleveland game. Baltimore 4-1 over Texas. 1-0 Red Sox in Minnesota. 2 heavy-hitting ball clubs there and a 1-run ball game. Chicago 4, Detroit 3. The White Sox have trouble with the Tigers. They're leading them tonight.
Listen, speaking of Texas, and we go down there pretty soon, it'd be great if Nolan Ryan would be gunning for number 300 while we're there. And you're there.
He won 298 the other day and is scheduled to pitch one more time before we get there. Mike McFarland a single. And he has his first base hit of the ball game.
Second baseman, Bill Picasso.
Ten to 7 Royals were in the top of the 8th. Big story of the ball game. Willie Wilson. Bo Jackson, 3 home runs, his first 3 times up, and then was taken out of the game when he made a diving try for a ball in center field, and Willie Wilson took his place. Nine RBIs in the number 4 spot.
Unbelievable.
Right in there for strike 1. Pacoda had a home run his first time up off of Hawkins. Hawkins gave up 4 home runs. He has given up 16 home runs on the season. Breaking ball hit nicely to right field. That's a good piece of hitting right there by Pacoda. And the Royals with runners at first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, he takes this curveball, slices it between first and second. Barfield thought he had a shot, but he fired it straight down in the ground. They would not have gotten it.
That throw from Barfield looks like my golf game, by the way. Especially off the tee, Scooter, just like that.
No.
Oh,
I told you I saw you. I woke up several mornings at ungodly hours, 3:30 in the morning, and there's Seaver on, was it Legends of the Game? You told me you did that
Sports
for a while.
Legends.
Greatest
Oh,
Sports.
a long time ago. Yeah, those are the things that they put on at 4 o'clock in the morning.
It was good, though. You had Arnold Palmer on one day.
That was a fun experience. Did those in California. I brought my father down.
Yeah, he was quite a golfer.
Yep.
Walker Cupper.
Walker Cupper, 1932, so he enjoyed spending the day with Arnold Palmer, and Palmer telling about his life in golf. Kevin Seitzer, a single and a double on the day, scored a couple of runs.
How do you play your dad?
I can't beat him.
No?
My father's 78 years old. I can't beat him.
Does he shoot his age once in a while?
Not quite.
He's pretty close.
Yeah, he shoots in the low 80s when he's playing well. He'll shoot 81, 82. They got a shot at second. Nope. And McFarland back in safe. balls, 2 strikes to Seitzer. 4 home runs, 24 RBIs. Bo Jackson came in with 50 RBIs on the day. He now has 57.
Unbelievable. No telling how many he would have had if he didn't hurt himself. Holy cow, is that something? What'd your old twin match do, Seaver?
Note on the scoreboard in the outfield, the count goes to 3-2. The Boston Red Sox have entered the record books by becoming the first team to hit into 2 triple plays in one game.
Wow, now that's hard to do. Man.
Now that is not easy.
And it's a shame the way they're going, too. They've dropped out of first place.
The runners are going. And on 3-2, they'll stay out of the double play. Good hustle by Seitzer going down the line. And the runners move up. McFarland to second and McFarland to third and Pacoda to second. And Kurt Stillwell will be the hitter. Stillwell is 0 for 4. Right to Espinosa, and Mills will get out of it. 6-3, and good job by Alan Mills. A goose egg for the Royals here in the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th at the stadium. The Kansas City Royals 10 and the Yankees 7.
Johnny Bench, Baseball Hall of Famer.
The Reds do it. So do Krylon Blues. Krylon paint turns everything old Krylon new. Because Krylon goes on rich and beautiful. Dries fast, smooth, and even. Makes whatever you paint Krylon new. Spray on Krylon for a smooth, professional finish every time. With no runs, no drips, no errors. Now that's Krylon new.
Krylon. The Italians lust for anything American. So in cars, Tonio Liguori prefers an American one. And of all the ways to a woman's heart, he chooses the American way. Cool, clean, Old Spice. #1 in America. #1 in the world. Only one shave cream in the world helps give a shave so close, with a scent so clean. Old Spice.
Midas has been in the muffler business for 34 years. So when the other guys say they're just like us, we understand. What else can they say? Can they say they've installed over 100 million mufflers, both domestic and foreign? Can they say that they engineer and build their own mufflers for quality? Can they say that their guarantee is good in over 1,700 Midas shops? But we can say that. That's why we can say this. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Let's pause 10 seconds along the Yankee Baseball Network for station identification. Back at the stadium, bottom of the 8th inning, it'll be Barfield, Moss, and Espinosa for the Yankees. And Scooter, we saw the shot of the Empire State Building there as we came back in this inning. They had a fire down there the other day.
Yeah, up about the 55th floor, I think it was.
That's scary, isn't it?
That is very scary. And there it is right there.
But evidently the fire department able to contain it at least.
Yes, and they say that they had all the necessary alarms. One of them went out because of the fire, but the Fisher brothers own that Empire State Building. They're the ones that did so much to bring the Intrepid here into the port in New York.
Two and two to Barfield.
Eddie Lucas asked me to remind the people for the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace They're going to have a raffle and a dinner at the Englewood Cliffs campus of St. Peter's College. Dinner, sports celebrity show.
Barfield strikes out for the first out here in the 8th. So Steve Barr, who came in the game in the 7th, is firing BBs here.
He had a good outing against the Yankees out in Kansas City as well.
Of course, the Royals went out and signed 4 pitchers, 2 free agent pitchers, and a couple of pitchers on their staff for about $35 million.
And really, none of them are doing well.
Storm Davis, Mark Davis, Gubazov, Saberhagen.
Couple on the DL, and
Mark Davis just having all kinds of troubles getting rolling.
Well, they could unload some of that high-priced talent with some of the clubs that are in the running for
always that possibility.
Yeah.
Sure.
At least they're hoping they can.
Some of the criticism about the ball club, John Mayberry, excuse me.
That was Mayberry?
Go on the bubble there?
Right there.
Right in the front, that's John Mayberry, right.
He's eating good again.
John Watham with his hand on his left hip, manager of the Royals. Some of the criticism, they felt that they had a closer right here in Steve Farr as Moss strikes out, paints that inside corner, and 2 strikeouts in a row for Farr. A lot of people thought that they had the closer on the ball club that they needed in Steve Farr. That's right on the corner. That's a big league strike right there. That's a beautiful pitch.
Yeah, so what? They didn't think they had a stopper? Oh, you mean then they went and got Davis?
They went out and they got Davis, and they had him right on the staff whole time. Farr's been a workhorse the last couple of years. 2 years ago, he had 20 saves. Last year, he had 18.
Oscar Azocar.
You see his numbers at AAA. The word on Bo Jackson was that he was taken to the hospital for x-rays of his left shoulder. And if we get word of that before the game ends, we will pass it along to you.
He's got 2 clubs worrying about him now. Hey! Save that ball! And look at that kid run. Holy cow. Oh, Mike Ferrara is going to get that baseball. First big league hit. How do you like that?
Boy, Azocar, his major league debut, his first at-bat in the big leagues. And the word on this kid is that he can hit in a good-looking swing, Scooter.
That was a dandy. Ball away, and he just went right with it. And he can fly, too. One little slip-up, and he'd been at second.
What a moment, huh?
Oh, unbelievable.
There, bring up Roberto Kelly. Kelly is 1 for 3. Got his 27th RBI in the 6th inning. On an infield grounder to shortstop. And just missed his 5th home run of the year in the 5th inning. A ball that looked like Jim Eisenreich in left field should have had, but it went for a double. Azocar at first, talking to George Brett down there. A man that has 1 hit, talking to a fella that has over 2,600. So there's 2,600 plus, and plus 1 more there now. George Brett has 2,600 and 611 hits. 2610. So Oscar Azocar is only 2,610 behind him. Ouch. Oh, man.
That reminds me, a young boy who's been an intern here for 5 summers. Tony Arango was in Stanford Hospital. When he got hit, reminded me of Tony being in the hospital. And Stanford's not too far from Greenwich.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner. Well, get well, Tony.
That's back into the seats. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. You have some of the greatest segues I've ever heard.
I know they're bad.
I said they were great. You just, some maps, and you just slide right into the next moment. It's like sliding out of here.
Which I'm going to try and do very shortly.
Off the end of the bat and right to Bill Pacoda. And the Yanks are out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And on the Citibank scoreboard, the score at the end of 8 is the Royals 10 and the Yankees 7.
Hi. Take your feet off the table. Now, here's your bag of Eagle potato chips. Here's my bag of Eagle potato chips. Now, we're going to open them. Not like an animal. Watch me. I open it easily. I remove one chip. Now, I taste it. Mmm. Mmm. The quintessence of taste and crunchiness. Go ahead.
Eagle potato chips, everyone loves them.
I pay some bills. My yacht bill, my Mercedes bill, my lead jet bill.
I'd give it all to my boyfriend and then marry him for his money.
I'd be chauffeured around in a stretch pickup truck.
I'd do so much traveling, my passport would have jet lag.
Twice a week, someone could win millions of dollars.
I'd have a hairline.
New York Lotto. All you need is $1 and a dream.
Stop the money. Mitsubishi's inventive clearance is over. Well, not quite yet. There's still time to get $2,000 cash back on selected Gallants and Monteros named Best Buys in their class. Or $2,000 back on Mighty Max 4x4. Pickup truck of the year. Oops, all gone. Well, not quite yet. So hurry down or there won't be any cash left. And this time I'm quite serious.
$2,000 cash back at your Tri-State Mitsubishi Motors dealer now.
Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are Advantage Dodge, only at your local Tri-State Dodge dealer. How about Budweiser, the king of beers? Remember, know when to say when. Then we got the Daily News, New York's hometown paper. Nobody tells it like the Daily News. And by the New York Yankees.
Oh, that was Emmy time right there. That was a thing of beauty.
You get that stretch shine.
Oh, yes. Stretch him out, baby.
Shine, not shine. Stretch.
I know what you mean.
Okay.
George Brett, Willie Wilson, and Gerald Perry here for the Royals in the top of the 9th. Somebody lost their hat in right field. And Jesse Barfield retrieving it, giving it back to the fan. Brett.
I mean, this must
one
be
for
tough
one.
for 2 stars like Brett with only 3 homers and Mattingly with only 5 at this stage of the year.
Brett is 1 for 1 tonight. 3 home runs on the year. And Bo Jackson has 3 tonight.
That's something.
Did you ever hit 3 home runs in one
No.
game?
Look, what does that thing on his arm do? You know, they didn't have that when I was playing.
Base hit right field. And the Royals with their leadoff batter on here in the 9th inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and WPIX and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game or any segment thereof without the written consent of the New York Yankees is prohibited. I thought you were going to faint when I put that in front of you.
No, you do such a good job on that.
I could say it in Arabic and you tell me I did a good job on it. Willie Wilson, who came in the game in the 7th inning, actually came in defensively in the 6th inning and hit for the first time in the game in the 7th. And had a 2-run single up the middle. Didn't hit it well, but enough to drive in Brett and Seitzen. Hitting .283. Hit right field. So Willie Wilson is 2 for 2.
Yeah,
holy mackerel, look at that number 4 spot in that lineup, Scooter.
5 for 5. 9 runs back. Woo! What production.
Bo Jackson with 3 home runs in that spot before he had to leave the game. That's the second time that Jackson hit 3 home runs in a game. He did it in April of '87 in Kansas City against the Tigers.
No, Plunk getting up.
He'll bring up Gerald Perry, the DH for the Kansas City Royals. And Perry is 0 for 4.
Up, here comes Stump. You know, only 3 men in the American League have hit 4 home runs in a game. Whereas the National League has the rest. I believe they have 8 men that have done it.
Who are the ones in the American League?
Lou Gehrig, Rocky Colavito, and Pat Siri.
Wow.
That was before your time.
I would have gotten one of them.
But the National League's got a mess of them. You know, we look at Alan Mills.
Mike Schmidt did it.
Oh, yeah, our National League's got 8 at that time.
Yeah, Mike Schmidt. I'm trying to think who they are.
Oh.
Excuse me. Let's get back to the ballgame. Alan Mills, huh?
No, I was going to say that when young Mel Stottlemyre Jr. was pitching earlier, we got Todd Stottlemyre at Toronto. Mel Stottlemyre, of course, who pitched here, is now with the Mets. They had another son who unfortunately passed away when I think he was about 14 years of age, who they said would have been the best of the 3, not counting Mel. And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that's got that yearbook of the time when I was talking about Mel and his young kids running around will see the picture. Uh-oh.
That is trouble. Azekar gets the lead runner. Excuse me, that's Wayne Tollison at short. And he gets the batter at first base, and the runners move up. Brett to third and Wilson to second. It'll bring up Jim Eisenreich, and I think they would put him on base here and load it up and try to get a double play from Pat Tabler. That's what they're going to do. The word from the hospital is that Bo Jackson has a partial tear of the shoulder joint. The initial word is a partial tear of the shoulder joint, which usually heals with rest. It does not sound good to me.
No, or to the Oakland Raiders or the Kansas City Royals.
So Eisenreich goes to first with the intentional base on balls. And with one out, the bases loaded for Pat Tabler.
And this is his specialty. He thrives on bases loaded situations.
We talked about the number 3 and 4 spots in this lineup. He 5-7 hits in the 3 and 4 spots, 6 runs scored. That's fouled off, and he's looking fastball there. The number 5, 6, 7, and 8 spots in the Kansas City lineup tonight. 1 for 18.
Wow.
Perry, Eisenreich, Tabler, and McFarland. Tabler is 0 for 4. 1 home run, 12 RBIs. Foul off, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Tabler owns a career batting average of over 500, 38 for 75 with a couple of home runs and 93 RBIs when hitting with the bases loaded. Last year he was 1 for 11 with the bases loaded. Well, that ball was a 55-footer. Yeah, do you believe that?
Holy cow.
Career-wise, he's over 500. Last year was 1 for 11. The pitch by Mills.
Wow.
A 55, maybe a 52-foot curveball. And a good play by Noakes to keep that out in front of him, or else Brett would have scored from third base. The Yanks down by 3 runs, 10-7. And the Royals looking to put more on the board. That'll be fouled on the right side. Beautiful shot of the infield here at Yankee Stadium. The lawn. Look at those lines in that lawn, Scooter.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, my. Good play by Noakes again. And it's 3 and 2. Bases loaded and 1 out.
And they're going to be running. I don't know how he caught this with the glove. Look at that.
3 and 2, 1 out. The middle sacks. Espinosa, Collison to Mattingly, and Alan Mills gets out of it. The double play ball. A little help here for your friends, and another double play turned by the Yankee infield. We go to the bottom of the 9th here at Yankee Stadium. The Yanks need 3 to tie. It's the Royals 10 and the Yankees 7.
I'm Mary Garfello, and here are some of the stories you'll be seeing after the game. A mass suicide in Philadelphia. A doctor and his family found dead in their home, IV tubes in their arms. Governor Cuomo in upstate New York says the Republicans are practically challenging him to run for president. And we'll have the latest on the Empire State Building fire. Those inside describe a scene of panic. And the death toll continues to rise in the wake of that massive earthquake in the Philippines. All this and more on the Channel 11 News after the game.
There are a lot of full-size sedans out there, so why buy a Dodge Dynasty? Well, in addition to driver's side airbags, front-wheel drive, available anti-lock brakes, and the longest powertrain warranty in its class, this Dynasty has the best fuel economy of any car in its class. Need more convincing? It also has the lowest price. And you know your Dodge dealer will work hard to give you a great deal. Dynasty, For safety and value, any way you look at it, it's Advantage Dodge.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies. So charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies. And when you know it, baby, milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, right baby smile, and ooh, great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby, milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
Back in the stadium, bottom of the ninth inning, the Yanks need 3 to tie in this one. Subway stop, and somebody getting their exercise. Oh, John Moore. John Moore down there writing comedy. Another note on Bo Jackson, who left the game and went to the hospital. Jackson, of course, had 3 home runs before he left today. Another report that we had was a tear of the rotator cuff. Now the wire services say that it's x-rays on Jackson's shoulder, his left shoulder, reveal a partial dislocation of the joint. The injury is not considered serious, and Jackson has been listed day to day. So that report not as serious as the first one sounded. It'll be Sanders, Sachs, and Mattingly. Against Jeff Montgomery. And Sanders hit on the ankle with a breaking ball. Sanders, a couple of base hits in the game. An inside the park home run in the 6th, a single in the 5th, and he's on the base for the 3rd time here. And that's what the Yankees need, is base runners.
Second baseman, Steve Sachs.
Breaking ball right down on his chin. Now watch the reaction. Conley clicks in that, hey, we're down 3 runs and we need base runners. And Dion happy to go to first. George Brett will play behind him. And that'll bring up Steve Sachs. Sachs having a great night, 3 for 4. 2 singles and a 3-run home run in the 5th. Each ball club with 12 hits. The Royals 10 runs. And the Yankees 7. Called a strike by first base umpire Don Denkinger. And it's 0-2.
Another look at it as Don Denkinger raises the right hand, saying he did go around. This has been a game, even though there's been a lot of hitting in it, there have been some calls that have been interesting, and certainly ones that, as Sachs strikes out, and you can still hear him beefing about the call before, but there have been some key calls in this game.
Sachs swinging at a bad pitch, and something he does not normally do is strike out. And he is woofing at Don Denkinger. It'll bring up Don Mattingly. Mattingly 1 for 4. His average at 248. Mattingly 1 for 4 tonight and was 0 for 4 last night. Right in there for strike 1. Montgomery, a 4-2 record, and run average under 2.5. Mattingly's last home run against Montgomery. That'll be in the corner for extra bases. Sanders going around to third, and Rocky Rowe, the third base umpire, says it's a double, either touched by a fan or bounced into the stands. So the Yanks will have runners at second and third. Mattingly with his 13th double of the year.
And this ball may have been out of the strike zone, but Mattingly just sticks the bat on it, punches it down the left field line, and a fan in that corner got a hand on it. You can see Deion Sanders was motoring and just The play dead. He never even touches third base. And by the way, you can tell there is a bit of a limp on that left foot where he was hit by the ball.
So the tying run comes to the plate in the person of Matt Noakes. Yanks down by 3 and 1 out. And Noakes 2 for 4. That's Mattingly's 20th multi-hit game this year. And he had 53 last year. On that outside corner, and it's 1-1.
Now that's a strike, but it's a strike that Darrell Evans has been telling Matt Noakes to lay off of in a situation like this and wait for that ball on the inside corner that he can hit out.
Well, if he's going to go out and get that ball, he's going to have to go out and hook it. Noakes right on top of the plate. There's the pitch inside, but a breaking ball, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. The slider inside. That's a good big league pitch right there.
Montgomery has probably, if not the best, is one of the top 2 or 3 slider curveball combo pitchers. He makes them look almost exactly the same, and certainly they react differently.
Oh, beautiful pitch. You can see McFarland set up inside, and that's right where Montgomery went. The second out of the inning, the second strikeout for Montgomery in the inning. There's nothing in that whole sequence of pitches for him to hit, George, at all. Kept everything out of the middle of the plate.
Good job of pitch selection and a good job of pitching by Montgomery.
So it'll be up to Jim Leyritz. Kurt Stillwell reminding the outfielder to throw the ball to second base. Time called by Durwood Merrill. Leyritz represents the tying run. He is over 2 tonight. He bounced into a double play his last time up and walked his first 2 times to the plate. Outside, and it's 2 balls and no strike. And Jesse Barfield on deck. He throws a breaking ball. That'll tell you something. And in there beautifully for a strike. That's a sharp-looking slider, George, right there.
Now, you talk so much about mechanics, Tom, and he has such an economical move to the plate. He doesn't waste any motion. He's compact, and he throws every pitch almost identical. He's not tipping anything.
The Yanks down to their last strike. Strikes him out. Another pitch out of the strike zone. And Jeff Montgomery comes in and picks up his 11th save. He hit Deion Sanders and gave up a double to Mattingly. But that was only sandwiched around a strikeout to Steve Sachs. Noakes and Leyritz, 3 strikeouts for Montgomery in the inning. So in a wild and woolly contest, the Kansas City Royals have won this one 10-7. 10 runs, 12 hits for Kansas City. For the Yankees, 7 runs.